Good morning and Happy New Year.
To you and all and everybody.
It is. It's been a wonderful morning. We're here on Lake Narracan, the start of the year 2026. It is the 1st of January and this is First Light, discovering our Eden of the East because of Latrobe City.
Is more than you can imagine in 2026.
It is. There's so much excitement happening here in 2026. We're here. Oh, look at the jetty behind us. Isn't it absolutely fabulous,
Yes,
this location? It is. It's so beautiful.
Where are we?
We're at Lake Narracan in Latrobe City.
Where are we again?
We're at Lake Narracan in Latrobe City. I'm really glad the weather's actually improving because it's been a bit the summer has been, I was going to say the winter, but it's more like winter, isn't
Yes,
it?
it has been a bit chilly.
It has been a bit chilly, but we're all set. We're excited. Today we're talking about resolutions and reverting to what feels safe. Have you ever set a resolution and not achieved it?
Yeah, how many times?
Exactly. And
aren't New Year's resolutions to be set, not to be done?
Well, there is that. And it becomes I mean, sometimes we set resolutions, don't even bother to achieve it. So,
yeah.
You know, it's like, what's going on there? What's causing that? We're going to explore that today and just get through and try and work out how is it that we set all these things? I mean, what's the point? If we're not going to even bother to achieve it, why set in a resolution?
I think it's a practice, Damien.
Yeah.
Where people actually get to practice setting goals, even though they don't start them.
Yep.
At least they head down the journey of thinking about it, considering it and contemplating it. One day, if they continue, they'll move past that step, hopefully,
yes,
and take the next step and actually implement it.
Well, and that's one of the things, Noel, as you say, we set a goal and a resolution probably because we want something to be different. And then, you know, but for some reason or other, it stops us. We stop from doing it, and we're going to explore that today. But before we do that, I want to give a big shout out to Fat Cat Coffee Roasters from Dambo's this morning, giving us a wonderful coffee. I'm just looking forward to drinking.
We
my
are
coffee.
Dambo fans, aren't we?
We are Dambo.
There's a lot of Dambo fans out there.
There's so many great places to get some food and coffee in this region. It's absolutely amazing. I mean, we had ice cream the other night. Augustus.
Yes,
Augustus.
Fantastic.
Ice cream, absolutely fabulous there. The crowd was insane. I don't like lines, and I even lined up, which was unusual. Very unusual.
Too. That's how popular it is, though.
It is.
What a wonderful place.
Yeah, and you've got Dambo's Coffee. You've got all the different coffee places in there. Give a shout out to Tommy Brock as well.
Yeah,
beautiful
very much
food there. Absolutely beautiful food.
Yes.
So many wonderful places we've got here.
There's lots of them. Shout out to Finally Mine Cafe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Store 61.
Finally, mine's also a bar as well, so you can go there in the evening and have a couple of drinks, you know.
Momos.
Momos, yeah.
Cuba.
There we go.
We can sit here for an hour if you like.
There's so many great places. But also, too, I mean, if you're travelling through, you're a bit of a caravanner. When you look up here, there's plenty of places, long vehicle parking. You can park your vehicle in here. So
Lake Narracan, where?
Yeah, Lake Narracan. Yeah, there's a lot of places you can come down and just chill out. And a lot of places you can actually, we've got this massive car park out at the Lawn Botanic Garden, which is, you know, it's okay to park your caravan there. You might want to just unhitch it and go for a bit of a drive, check out a few things and come back and pick it up again.
So how many kilometres would you say, Damien, or how many minutes is the Lawn North Botanical Garden?
The Lawn Botanic Garden?
And Lake Narracan, because they're very close together.
They are.
Half a day,
you can walk
maybe?
it. You can walk it.
Yep.
You can walk the distance between the two. It's not very far at all. So there's actually a nice walk trail that goes along here, the Moe Lawn Rail Trail, which actually walks all the way from Lake Narracan through to the Lawn Botanic Garden. Or you can go the other way and head into Moe.
And go to Tommy Brock's and have coffee.
Have a coffee, exactly. Go and check out the War Memorial. There's a fabulous trail which we've marked out, an Anzac Trail, where you can go from, get a coffee in the morning, Tommy Brock's Cafe, which is around the corner from the Moe RSL. Go down and check out the memorial there, then head around the corner to the Balfour Gun, which is not there at the moment. It's actually being restored. It is being restored. It'll be back very shortly. And then you head through, go out to your Lawn North and check out the monument there. Go to Tyres. And the museum, the Old Brown Coal Mine Museum.
That's a great place.
That's absolutely fabulous.
Yeah, cool.
It's so much stuff. I went in because I've been in before, but I hadn't gone right through to the back, and there is so much stuff in there. It was insane.
Yep.
Absolutely fabulous. Go out to Tyres, Glengarry, the memorial at Toongabbie is absolutely amazing. This big statue is fabulous. Then you can come back through to Traralgon, Churchill, down to Ballara, Yanar.
Yes.
Do a big loop.
You can
get some
finish up
lunch on the way.
at the Moe Hotel
And
for
then
dinner.
Exactly,
Which
absolutely.
is the
They have
best.
awesome palmers.
They have the best palmers and the best
We've
counter
got to
meals.
do that. We've got to get out and find out where's the best palmer.
Absolutely.
Because there is so many great fooderies here. But that's what we're, it's one of the things Latrobe City has. It's more than you imagine. There's so much excitement here. So many things to see and do. Lake Narracan. You can head out to Narracan Falls, which is actually nowhere near Lake Narracan, but it's absolutely fabulous there. Very relaxing. There's nice picnic tables to have some bit of a picnic lunch there as well.
Well, Lake Narracan is a popular boating and ski location as well.
Absolutely, it is.
There's a boat ramp here. I'm free of charge, I'm sure.
It is
I'm
free of
sure.
charge. Well, and also too, if you come down, I'm not sure which day it is on Sundays. They have the Latrobe Valley Model Airplane Association. They fly their plane, and there's some insane like jets. These are jets, model jets that fly around. And if you go across the other side of the lake, which you can quite see, it's just over there, is the Hovercraft Club.
Yes, I knew you'd mention the Hovercraft Club.
Yes, it's one of those things on my bucket list, and it's like I've been tempted. They are very hard to find though. I did find one, and I was like, I'll do it a bit later, and then it was gone. And it was a red one too, so it must have been really fast.
Yeah, very. I'd say at least 10% faster.
There's so much to do, and we're going to be out here. I'm going to be out on a little surf ski soon and check that out as well. You know, one of those paddle boards, when you're standing paddleboard. I'll see if I can see if I can stand up and paddleboard.
You'll give that a go. Practice.
Yeah, practice makes wet.
Yeah. I was going to say, at least when you fall, you're not going to injure yourself.
Well, there is that too. But we're here to talk about, what we're talking about is our resolutions.
And reverting to what feels safe.
Yeah, so most resolutions fail because you're not asking yourself to become someone new at the same time. Oh, sorry, most resolutions fail because you're asking yourself to become someone new at the same time as wanting to be the same. So you're kind of, the two things are pulling against each other. You've gone, I want to set a goal, I want to do something a little bit different this year, and you're at the same time, unconsciously, you want to stay that same person, because if you're going to set a goal to be something different, you've got to change, which most of us kind of scared a little bit of that. So we want to stay where safe is.
We don't like doing things that are hard, saying we like to stay in our comfort zones. Now, comfort zones are fine, and they're very lovely places to be, but you'll find that they're challenged pretty regularly. And New Year's Eve is a good excuse to consider challenging your comfort zone.
Well, it is. So it was something we revert to, the familiar. We stay safe in there, and that's part of why. I mean, a lot of times we'll set a resolution, and we won't even try to achieve it. It's just like, it's a nice idea. We're a bit drunk. We go, I'm going to do this next year, and then wake up with a hangover and go, that sounds like a bit too much work.
I find our New Year's resolutions, if they are going to work and you are dedicated towards them, you should really start planning them in the first week of December.
Yeah.
So you can actually psychologically
plan ahead.
Get your mind into that frame of what the change is going to be and how you're going to approach that. Instead of sipping a number of champagnes on the 31st of December and going, tomorrow I'm flying to the moon. It just doesn't work.
As simple as, I mean, you can do something like you're just going to be a little bit more organized, or it can be, I'm going to lose a little bit of weight or something like that. And, it's not something that, I don't like referring to these things as hard, because it's one of those things, if you take small, consistent actions, it's not hard at all. It's actually quite simple and easy to do.
It's exactly the reverse of how he put weight on. Small, consistent actions. All you do is reverse that process.
I love that blinding flash of the obvious, Noel. That is absolutely so true. You're right. It is those small, consistent actions. And I know from my own experience, I lost a lot of weight once. I lost 25 kilos, and it wasn't a struggle, wasn't anything difficult. I just had that little bit less food. And you're right, small, consistent actions, and it come off really, really quickly.
It can change as easily as just missing out on one meal a day. Have a big breakfast, miss out on lunch, and have a dinner. Miss out on lunch. Breakfast, have lunch.
Well, all I did was I just had a smaller meal.
It is. Well,
I had the same amount of meals, ate exactly the same food.
Portion size is significant.
Well, it was just the portion size was just a little bit smaller. Instead of, when I felt full, I just stopped, rather than, you feel full and you go, oh, but I like it. So you start to stuff yourself a little bit more, and then you feel tired and bloated and all that kind of stuff, and it adds up. Whereas I just went, okay, I'm full, stop now, even if the plate wasn't, empty. I'm stopping. It's my health that's important here. Is people say, oh, you got to eat everything on your plate, but it's like, well, where's it going to go anyway? It's going to come out.
That's great. That's great.
You know, don't go in a bin. Well, it's going to go in the crapper, isn't it? So,
Well,
which is better for your health.
And you know, lots of us were brought up by grandparents and parents who come through lean times of the
Correct.
Second World War.
Yeah,
and
depression.
there wasn't a lot of food or a lot of energy available, and that's why you were taught to eat everything on your plate, because of there was a possibility there wouldn't be a meal the next day.
Oh, exactly.
So that's been ingrained into us today, and today we have never had so much available food and energy to take on for 24 hours, 7 days a week in all of human history.
Definitely.
So this is, and our brains are
and that's, I mean, and you talk about gratitude a lot, Noel, and I really relate to that from a gratitude perspective. We do live in the best times ever in history.
Ever in history.
Ever in history. As much as, and there are some wars and that going on, but even from a war perspective, it's a lot less than, you know, we have a lot less stress in respect of wars and that than we've had ever in history. And we're very, very lucky. And like you say, there's an abundance of food. So that's a good goal that a lot of people set as a resolution. So there's that hope, and that's what we're talking about. We start the first stage, and we're going to go through 9 stages. We start with hope, and it's like we're going to do that. It's like the start of Rocky, the Rocky montage, and it becomes, you know, we're all hopeful. But I think the real one that relates to what resolutions is like. You remember the movie? There was the movie called They Call Me Bruce.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and he starts with they do the same Rocky montage, and he starts and he goes, "Oh, this is too much," and he goes and he tries to drink the raw egg, and it's like, "No, I can't do that," and he gets it on the skillet, and. But that's what the hope is like. We have this hope. It's the start of that Rocky montage where we're going, okay, I'm going to do things different. I'm going to, you know, because we know we want to, you know, improve a little bit. We naturally want to improve as beings. We always want to improve. And that's part of that hope that we start with.
I think, I think you're right, Damien. And the other thing I'd like to stress is we do live in a time where we have absolutely 24/7 available food, anything you want at any time, any hour, delivered to your door. So, you know, don't go too harsh on yourself. That's because we're programmed to take that energy on because there might not be any tomorrow, but we're not in that situation. So small changes can make big differences over a, short to medium.
Well, this is, and it's a really important, especially with the transition that we're going through at the moment globally, with the rollout of AI, and we're moving to a world where we are very rapidly moving to a world where potentially you don't have to work. Work will be an option.
Imagine that.
Now, but I mean, what would people do? What would you do if you didn't have to work? And I know from
go to Lake Narracan every day.
You could go to Lake Narracan every day. It's one of those things that we've found though that when people don't have purpose, they start to get depressed and it's action. It's actually action that actually makes you feel like you've got something worthwhile, having a purpose that delivers something. And this is where it is really important to have these discussions to understand, because a lot of people, if you took it and said, well, okay, you don't have to go to work, what would you do? It's work that, even though it's work that gives people purpose, even though they don't really recognize it as that. I'm loving these little duckies over here. This is really cool.
Yeah,
sorry,
they're fantastic. I'm just having a forage.
My ADHD's kicking in there. Oh, shiny thing.
Look.
But that's where it's really, when we're talking about these resolutions and feeling safe, it's one of those things where we want to be in that stage where we're constantly accepting growth. And, you know, the first stage is, you know, we're hopeful we're going to do something different. It's a new year, a new chapter, a new version of ourselves, a new vision.
Yes,
very exciting.
Yes. And we're climbing through the decade quickly, and we're in the second half of the 20th decade, is it? Or is it the second decade or the third?
Yeah, it's the third decade, isn't it?
Third decade we're into,
first,
and we're
second,
on the
third decade of the 2000s. Third decade.
We're on the downhill side.
Oh, it's downhill side of that.
Heading for 2030. Imagine that. Could you imagine 2030?
I remember when I was in primary school working out how old I was going to be in the year 2000.
Don't do that. Don't go there. I was looking,
going, I'm going to be, you know, I think I was going to be 26 in the year 2000. And it's like, whoa, that's so old.
Just
that's
imagine
so old.
that. Golly.
But it's not. But anyway, this is the first day of my life as far as I'm thinking, where it's the start of a new era, where it started first day of 2026, which is my segue to our song by Bright Eyes here. And as we go through our little first day of the year as well.
2026.
2026.
Here and ready for you.
Exactly. And this is the first day of my life by Bright Eyes.
first day of my life. Swear I was born right in the doorway. I went out in the rain, suddenly everything changed. They're spreading blankets on the beach. Yours is the first face that I saw. I think I was blind before I met you. And I don't know where I am, I don't know where I've been, but I know where I want to go. And so I thought I'd let you know. Yeah, these things take forever, I especially am slow. But I realized that I need you, and I wondered if I could come home. Remember the time you drove all night just to meet me in the morning? And I thought it was strange, you said everything changed. You felt as if you just woke up. And you said, this is the first day of my life. I'm glad I didn't die before I met you. But now I don't care, I could go anywhere with you, and I'd probably be happy. So if you wanna be with me, if these things there's no telling, we just have to wait and see. But I'd rather be working for a paycheck than waiting to win the lottery. Besides, maybe this time it's different. I mean, I really think you like me.
What a beautiful morning here at Lake Narracan, Noel. It's
Fantastic.
absolutely, it's a beautiful place. It's wonderful. We've got the staff out here, they're working really hard, emptying the bins.
Yes, that's right. That's the Latrobe City Council. Thank you very much, coming out and doing their very, very valuable work.
Yeah, emptying the bins, keeping it clean, tidy.
Yep.
This is really, I mean, and it is, we came here this morning. What was really awesome this morning as well was there was a man who came down, and he comes down to collect any bits of rubbish, although he wasn't here long because it was actually really tidy.
Yeah, it's not bad
which
at all.
surprised me, given the weather. I would imagine that I wasn't here yesterday, but I know yesterday was pretty, it was a beautiful day as well, so I imagine it was pretty packed here. I found that.
Does a lot of people do come down, spend a bit of time in the water. It's safe to swim in. You
Yeah.
can weigh it out
Yeah.
and have a bit of a splash. Lots of people do that. You can bring your children down here. It's quite safe.
Yeah.
Although there is some safety signs around the place. I suggest you would read them.
Yeah, don't dive in the water.
Well,
from the
things
jetty.
along those lines,
yeah.
you know, emergency contact numbers and where you are actually situated in relation to the township of Maui.
That was pretty cool. I think that was a duck or something. A duck just landed in the water. I heard that.
So,
that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Well,
sure you saw it, people. But sorry, you were giving safety. You were doing very serious safety information, and I went shiny thing.
And I was having dreams this morning when I was just before I got out of bed of the Lake Narracan monster.
Oh yeah,
like the Loch Ness.
Yes.
Hey,
we've got a few series got
that'd
to do.
Be fantastic, wouldn't it?
We've actually got some plans for that coming up. We're going to explore some of the myths and scary stuff in Latrobe City. So that's going to be a bit of fun as well. So, but we're here this morning. We're talking about I lost my sheet here. Our resolutions and reverting to what feels safe, because most resolutions fail because you're asking to become someone different while wanting to be the same.
Yes.
It's just kind of, you're pulling in two different directions, and the more familiar is actually going to take precedent. But here, what's the next step? Well, we started with a bit of hope. We're going to go, okay, we're going to do something different. We're going to lose a bit of weight or get a bit fitter.
Our intention.
The most sold item on secondhand item is actually gym gear. people buy it with
took the words out of my mouth because I was going to say the rush to gym memberships in January is incredible.
Yep, start of the year. I'm gonna set a resolution. Gonna get fit.
The patronage to match the membership in January by March is nowhere near
it. Exactly, 100%, Noel. And that's where we start with that hope, and then we move into this resolve, which is what you're talking about, Noel. We're going to resolve. Yes, I'm going to do it. I'm going to buy a gym membership. I'm going to buy some gym gear and take that home and have some weights and stuff like that. And so it's the moment where the idea it's believable. We're going, oh, I can do this, and you start out, and that's where the membership comes from.
Interestingly enough, you can do this.
Yep.
It's the will.
Yes.
It's the will and the belief.
And my will to not have this coffee is very weak.
That's delicious, though.
It is very good coffee.
So, yes, and people do buy a lot of gym memberships. You know, if you frequent a gym, you'll know that the old story is you just, keep your visits down to a minimum through January because you can't get in. You can't get on anything. So
that's when you go for nice work.
February, everything will be pretty much back to normal.
Yeah.
But, it's good to see people getting out and having a go and having a try. Yeah. And maybe the next time they do that, in the following year with their new resolution again, I'm going back to the gym, they might stay for an extra 2 weeks or an extra 4 weeks and building on that.
Yeah.
As I said, a lot of New Year's resolutions are a time for practice and contemplating goal settings and then trying to put them into place. And if you fail, that's fine. I believe that if you've gone down that road to get to that point, I think you're doing it pretty good. You're doing pretty good. Well, even if you don't achieve it, you've planned it, you've implemented it.
We'll get to the process of going through where it actually sticks as well.
Go on a bit there myself, I know, but...
You're excited. Well, it is a simple process, but we've got 2 hours of show to fill.
That's right.
Pat it out. No, we're not patting it out.
I get excited about being positive. I can't help myself.
It is. But it's one of those things where we start, we're going to save a little bit each week. We're going to walk a little bit more. We're going to, we're not going to do things that drain us. We're going to not be around some people that are a little bit toxic.
Not drink as much beer.
Not drink as much beer. Yeah. And producer's done really well. He lost a fair bit of weight too, so he's much healthier. But it's one of those things you haven't been out there. So you've got this resolve. You want to do that and you want to push it out. And so the belief feels good because it creates meaning. And this is what we're talking about before. This belief, it's this meaning of something different. And that's where, especially now with the rollout of AI, how it's going to change our lives, because there's so many things that we're just not going to have to do. The robots are coming soon. They'll do a lot of that work for us. Life will be a lot easier. And it becomes, well, what do you do if you don't have to do, the things to survive?
And unfortunately, we're a society that isn't planning for this change very well at all. We really should be looking at education systems and how they are educating children still to go into the workforce, but there won't be a workforce there. Maybe we need to.
There's a lot of people studying for jobs that aren't going to exist very shortly.
And maybe we should be working a little bit more and putting a bit more emphasis into arts, crafts, music, sculpting,
that creative
woodwork,
type stuff.
people working with their hands and creating actually beauty. Some of the greatest artworks still hold true today.
They do.
Many of them, people line up, like Mona Lisa at the Louvre in Paris.
Definitely, yeah.
People line up.
Can't tell whether she's smiling or not smiling.
That's right.
Is she happy or not happy?
I don't know.
Is she judging?
Well, if she knew how famous she was, I think she'd be happy.
Well, there's that too,
But realistically, we need to start looking at how we can explore other skills and valuable attributes that we all possess in a different way.
But that's where that resolve, so we've gone from hope and we go to resolve, and that's where the resolve feels good, is because it gives purpose. And this is really important. It's that purpose that creates meaning in our life. And it's that resolve. We're going, yes, I'm going to do this. I'm going to save a little bit each week, or I'm going to go to the gym. We enroll in the gym, and it feels good to do that. And the reason it feels good is because it gives us purpose. And that's what's really important, is keeping that purpose. And that's that next step. And that's where when we set that purpose, we have that resolve. It's kind of like we're counting stars, which is our next song by OneRepublic.
I thought I had a bit of a segue ring to it, Damien.
It did. It was getting more subtle in those segues. Yeah.
He's only had half his coffee.
Yeah. And that's where that resolve is. I'm only halfway through this beautiful coffee from Dambo's. Fat Cat Coffee Roasters. Give a big shout out to our local award-winning coffee roaster.
Very much so.
Fantastic. Yeah, but it's one of those things where we start with that resolve and it feels like that resolve is going to last. And in reality, it should. And that's where the thing is, that's where we revert back to feeling safe, because that's where that comes in, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But first, we're going to have some counting of stars by OneRepublic. So here's Counting Stars.
Enjoy.
Lately, I've been losing sleep, dreaming about the things that we could be. But baby, I've been praying hard. Said no more counting dollars, we'll be counting stars. Yeah, we'll be counting stars. Like a swinging vine, swing my heart across the line. In my face is flashing signs. Seek it out and ye shall find. Old, but I'm not that old. Young, but I'm not that bold. And I don't think the world is sold. I'm just doing what we're told. I feel something so right, doing the wrong thing. And I feel something so wrong, doing the right thing. I could lie. Everything that kills me makes me feel alive. Lately, I've been losing sleep, dreaming about the things that we could be. But baby, I've been praying hard. Said no more counting dollars, we'll be counting stars. Lately, I've been losing sleep, dreaming about the things that we could be. But baby, I've been praying hard. Said no more counting dollars, we'll be counting stars. Hey. I feel your love and I feel it burn down this river every turn. Hope is our four-letter word. Make that money, watch it burn. Old, but I'm not that old. Young, but I'm not that bold. And I don't think the world is sold. I'm just doing what we're told. And I feel something so wrong. We're doing the right thing. I could lie. Everything that drowns me makes me wanna fly. Lately, I've been losing sleep, dreaming about the things that we could be. But baby, I've been praying hard. Said no more counting dollars, we'll be counting stars. Lately, I've been losing sleep, dreaming about the things that we could be. But baby, I've been praying hard. Said no more counting dollars, we'll be counting stars. Oh, take that money, watch it burn, sink in the river, the lessons I learned. Take that money, watch it burn, sink in the river, the lessons I learned. Take that money, watch it burn, sink in the river, the lessons I learned. Take that money, watch it burn, sink in the river, the lessons I learned. Everything that kills me makes me feel alive. Lately, I've been losing sleep, dreaming about the things that we could be. But baby, I've been praying hard. Said no more counting dollars, we'll be counting stars. Lately, I've been losing sleep, dreaming about the things that we could be. But baby, I've been praying hard. Said no more counting dollars, we'll be counting stars. Watch it burn, sink in the river, the lessons I learned. Take that money, watch it burn, sink in the river, the lessons I learned. Take that money, watch it burn, sink in the river, the lessons I learned. Take that money, watch it burn, sink in the river, the lessons I learned.
We were just admiring how beautiful it is
That's
out here
wonderful.
while we were listening to Counting Stars on First Light, discovering our Eden of the East on a special New Year's Day edition.
2026, more than you can imagine.
It is. Latrobe City is more than you imagine. 26 is going to be more than you imagined here in Latrobe City. So much is being planned in the excitement, and and excitement. Definitely, there's so much going on that we're really excited for 2026. Really excited. You might notice that behind us, the cloud is starting to lift. It was just such a beautiful morning here. I was a bit concerned when we were planning this out, because you can't, when you're outside, you can't plan for the weather.
No,
you don't.
you can't.
But you couldn't have got a more perfect morning to be here. It's just the right lighting for us. It's actually fantastic.
But the weather forecast predicted 1% chance of rain,
Did
so
it?
I was a bit happy about that. Yes.
Okay.
So that's all day.
That's a pretty.
That's pretty good. That's it.
Pretty
that's
low.
You can sort of got to take that to the bank. We've got a 1% chance of rain.
I think there's a 2% chance of 2 ducks coming along.
Oh, there's. I think it's a bit more than 2%.
Little duckies there.
Yeah, very happy, just foraging for a bit of breakfast.
It's such a peaceful location here. There's
beautiful.
more ducks out there. Oh, there's one behind us. There we go. Thank you, Mr. Producer. We're here talking about resolutions, New Year's resolutions, because it is New Year's, and reverting to what feels safe, because most resolutions fail because you're asking yourself to become someone new at the same time as wanting to stay the same.
Yes.
So we want something to do something different. We want to be a little bit different. We want to be a bit healthier, have a bit more money in our life, that kind of thing. So we want something different, but at the same time, we want to stay the same because that's a little bit safe. Going into this area is uncomfortable. When you talk about going into comfort zones or going out of comfort zones more often than not.
Well, we're very happy in our comfort zones. That's where we like to be the most, and we'd like to hold on to that comfort zone for as long as we possibly can. But our whole world changes around us constantly, which means you have to make changes to your comfort zones, which is very uncomfortable.
It is certainly.
Oh, it can be very uncomfortable.
Well, it can be. Well, and we have, our body operates like a thermostat in a house, and we have a standard that we set for ourselves, whether we're aware of it or not. And like a thermostat, if it gets too hot, it kicks in and it cools us down. So if we become too successful, we actually sabotage ourselves and bring ourselves back to this comfort zone. Same token, if we go the other way and we start to be too outside of our comfort zone in the sense of not as successful as we'd like, or we perceive ourselves to be, I should say, then we actually lift ourselves back up. We go to that little bit more effort to move back to where we think we should be. And that's part of this resolutions we're talking about. We have this expectation where we want something different. We set something that's outside our comfort zone, outside our thermostat range, and we have this hope we're going to do it. Yes, we're going to do it. We resolve to do it. We enroll in the gym membership. We put a couple of dollars in the cookie jar or something like that.
Yep.
And we have this belief. This is the next step. We actually believe we can do this, which you can. So it's not we're committed in that moment because you've enrolled in the membership. You've committed money to it. You've paid for it. So you believe you can do it.
Do you think fear plays a role in that, though?
Well, it does in the sense, fear of, well, when you say fear, is that a fear of not succeeding?
Well, of it becoming too hard, of becoming you losing face in front of your friends, in terms of not achieving your goal quick enough.
Well, there's a whole bunch of factors, and we've got Act 2, which we'll go through and explore in how we actually go from this belief. Because we start with this hope, then we get resolved to do it, and we believe we can do it, because we've gone out and bought the new sneakers to go for a run every day. We've all done that. We're going to go. We
just bought a new pair of sneakers.
Happy New Year, Noel. What's your resolution, I wonder? But it's that moment. It's like, when we look at it, and it's like, it's that belief. One of my favorite movies, Karate Kid. It's that wax off, wax on moment. Yes. It's like, yes, we can do this. It's like, yeah, we can actually succeed, and it's that repetition. We can do it. We start to do it, and we're moving forward in that way, and that's where that belief really moves us. We can. We believe we can.
Well, the belief in yourself is a very important aspect to implementing goals. It's extremely important, because there'll be a lot of people in your environment who don't believe you'll be able to achieve it, which actually puts you off.
Yeah.
But if you firmly believe in yourself and firmly believe that this will do you good, you will keep on moving forward.
And this comes back to identity. We go, okay, this is where that shift, and I wrote about that in my book, Get Shit Done. We have an identity, and when that identity is solid, then that's what we move towards. It's that thermostat, where we stay committed to that identity, and all our actions move us towards that. what happens with resolutions, again, we start with that, we start with this shift. We want to be different, but we actually haven't ingrained it as our identity. But at this moment, the moment we're at the moment, we've got this belief that we can do it, but it hasn't solidified as part of our identity, and that's where it kind of fails us. And we kind of struggle with that.
I can't see why we can't set goals and New Year's resolutions every day of the year, actually.
Yeah.
It's about, as I said earlier, it's about psychologically preparing yourself for the change.
Yeah.
I think with the New Year's resolutions, why they tend to fail is because we do it at the end of the month. Usually on New Year's Eve, whilst we're doing these ones. Oh,
that's the end of the year.
Oh,
You do it once. Only set goals once a year.
You're within hours of the day starting, and usually there's a bit of a hangover on the first day where you're not feeling fantastic anyway. But looking forward to the barbecue though. But I think we don't prepare ourselves, and then we're into it. Then we have to do the preparation, but the day's already started.
Yeah.
And then we're into the first day, the second day, the third day, the fourth day, the fifth day of the month. We're just, by that stage, we're just going, oh, it's not going to work. Yeah. Right? Well, we haven't done the preparation. You need
absolutely.
to do the preparation.
And you've hit on exactly one of the things that the writers wrote into the script that we've got for the show.
Yep.
Is that goal setting is actually a process. It's a skill, and it's something you do every day. And in any given moment, ask yourself, what am I attempting to achieve in this moment? Whether it's having a conversation or achieving, you might be planting a plant or something like that. What is it in this moment am I trying to achieve? Is it just random? Because when you actually do that, in every moment, asking yourself, what am I aiming to get out of this moment?
Yep.
Then all of a sudden it gives you purpose, which is what I was getting back to, people having purpose, rather than just random conversations that just flow anywhere, which, I mean, if that's your objective, fine, that's what you're doing, but you've actually given yourself purpose rather than just randomly floating. And it creates such a different life for yourself when you do that. So you're right, Noel, it's something we should do not just every day, but every moment. What am I aiming to get out of this moment?
Yeah.
And it could be just, this moment, I want to sit back and relax and look at those duckies feeding wherever they've gone. They're behind us somewhere now. But it can be as simple as that.
They're very busy.
They're
very busy getting their breakfast prepared.
But that's where, I mean, goals don't have to be this go out and accomplish major things. Goals can be, actually, I've been fairly busy. My goal right at this moment is just to relax and watch some TV. That can be a goal.
That's really hard. Over the Christmas period, just taking a bit of time out to think was difficult. Was actually difficult.
I struggled to get up this morning.
I had to actually, consciously say, right, I do need to take a bit of time, and I'm going to sit around and do not very much. I need to spend a bit of time working out where I am. Yeah. And we come to a close of a year.
Yeah.
Now we've come to an open of a year. I find myself sitting back and having a look what has been done.
Yeah, reflection is really done, and that's
what was done.
Yeah, it's amazing when you look back and you go, "Wow, look at everything I've done." When you actually notice that, it's one of those things that depends on what we focus on, because you can focus on everything that you didn't do, which is a massive amount as well, and then you forget all the things that you did do, and you accomplished so much. It's
gratitude.
The G word. Get that. No, you're very good at finding the G spot.
Let's not go there, Damien. on international TV.
Gratitude is really that G spot,
Okay.
Gratitude spot.
Thank you, the gratitude spot.
Very, very, very important. But it is one of those things, it's setting in any given moment, taking that time to notice or decide what it is you're trying to achieve. And is it, just having some time out? That is a goal. We
need that.
Yeah. And it's interesting when you set, because I notice in my life, when I set those goals and go, okay, I need some time out, and set a goal to have that time out, all of a sudden I do it, but then there comes a point where I go, okay, now I've finished, because it's a goal to achieve something. You go, oh, I need to have some time out to rest. Now I'm re-energized. I can go off and do things, and it gets you out of that cycle where you're just sitting there, scrolling through social media or just binge watching TV, because it becomes you've achieved what you needed to achieve. You've got that relaxation, and then you can go off and have a conversation with someone or do whatever you need to do.
Yes, and it's very hard around Christmas. I know in our household it's very hard not to get off the couch because Santa brought us a new 4K TV.
Oh,
so
there you go.
There's a lot of temptation to sit down and do nothing.
It's a new tool. You've got to use the tool that you got.
My three beautiful sons decided to buy us a present, and wow.
Yeah, there you go.
So, but again,
depth of field.
all those temptations from Christmas time flow over and disrupt your New Year's resolution.
Well, there's a good point, and that's where we start with this belief, and then there's little things that get in the way, and that from that perspective, it's how do we rise above that? Which is a song by Katy Perry.
I was going to say, Katy Perry will tell us.
Katy Perry will tell us. It's our next song and next segue. I keep getting distracted by that ducky that keeps walking past. He's kind of cool. He's just wandered. Although he's behind us now. There's two over there.
There's a little family getting around.
It's fantastic.
They're just busy having brekkie.
Yeah, they're just quiet. It's so peaceful here this morning.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
It's absolutely wonderful.
You need to come down and have a look at Lake Narracan when you're in the area.
Come and check it out. And there's so much more than you imagined here. It's absolutely fabulous. Anyway, here's Katy Perry and Rise.
I won't just survive. Oh, you will see me thrive. Can write my story. I'm beyond the archetype. I won't just conform. No matter how you shake my core. 'Cause my roots, they run deep. So little faith, don't doubt it, don't doubt it. Victory is in my veins. I know it, and I will not negotiate. I'll fight it, I will transform. When the fire's at my feet again, and the vultures all start circling. Conscious through the madness and chaos, so I call on my angels. They say, oh, you have so little faith. Don't doubt it, don't doubt it. Victory is in your veins. You know it, and you will not negotiate. Just fight it, and be transformed.
It is an absolutely fabulous morning. We're at Lake Narracan here in Latrobe City. The sun is coming up, the mist was down and the fog is lifting.
And the ducks are foraging.
And it's New Year's. Happy New Year's, Noel.
Thank you very much, Damien. Happy New Year to you too.
Thank
as well.
you. I'm not hungover, which is a good thing. Good
Yes,
sign.
no, it's very good. It's good to get out of bed in the morning feeling okay.
Well, I know if I was feeling okay, but I'm certainly got out of bed not hungover, which is, you know, a good thing. But yeah, it's been a busy time of the year, and as we've been talking about, you know, there is so much excitement here in Latrobe City, so much more than you imagine, so many things to see and do. Certainly here, some great ducks. They keep circling. I think they want to be on camera. They're kind of, you know,
so.
there's this whole lawn out here, but they're hanging around here.
I think so.
Yeah. Well, you know, well, I think they heard about your new 4K TV that you got for Christmas,
they might have,
and they might want to come over and, you know, watch the cricket or something.
They might want to do that. That's going to be a big day for cricket fans.
Oh, it is, yeah.
And I'd like to know another shout out to Fat Cat Coffee in Danbo's, because I'm enjoying that immensely.
It is a beautiful car. I think we should have got two.
I wonder if they deliver. I was just thinking the same thing.
We need another coffee. We're only halfway through the show. Well, not even halfway through the show yet. But we're talking about resolutions and falling back to what feels safe, because a lot of times we set resolutions, but what we're doing is we want to be different while at the same time wanting to be the same, which causes a bit of conflict. And what's being same and what being the same is what becomes the stronger pull and familiar. And that's where we move through. We start out with this great ambition, this hope. We're going to set a goal, and New Year, yes, we're going to do all that. And then we've got that resolve. We buy the membership and we believe we can do it.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden there's a pullback.
Yes.
A bit of conflict comes in.
Yes.
Yeah.
A bit of grappling.
Yeah. It's not loud.
With the little demon on one shoulder and the little angel on the other shoulder.
Yeah, we've been to the gym twice, and then we wake up the next day.
Good. I think
got up early, motivated. Today. Yeah, it's like, you know.
Yep.
There's that button that comes up on your phone that starts with an S and goes snooze, and you go, oh, that sounds comfortable.
That's right. The friend you joined up with, who was adamant they were going to go with you every time.
Yes.
They have a picnic with their kindergarten, and they won't be there today.
Yes.
And then next Thursday they got a concert with the kiddies.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you're there on your own. This is a time to where the conflict
and
kicks
it's like,
in.
oh, well, that
do
routine.
I go or do I stay?
Because I mean, when we're changing, we're talking about habits, and we are creatures of habit. I mean,
Very
have a look
much
at look at the toothpaste in your cupboard.
Yep.
How often have you bought a different brand?
Yes.
You know, we're creatures of habit, and so but to change a habit, you can't just make a habit disappear. You have to replace a habit with a different habit. But to change a habit, it takes 21 to 28 repetitions.
That's right.
Well, they say 21 to 28 days, but that's because assuming once a day. I think that's information people didn't really need. It's a little bit too much.
It's about 21 days.
My attention to detail kicks in there. It's like, if you do it repetitively 21 to 28 times, it kicks in as it rewires the neurons in your brain that make things happen unconsciously, because we act unconsciously.
That's called neuroplasticity.
It is
and
neuroplasticity.
It really works.
It does work.
Yes, it does work indeed.
And what it is when we're talking about unconscious behavior, because we don't consciously do anything. We actually all our actions are unconscious.
Oh,
so you've got to teach yourself, how to. We've all had that experience, I think, where you've thought you couldn't do something, and then you've surprised yourself how well you actually did it, because action is an unconscious function. It's got little to do with understanding. So to make a change in your life, you've actually got to change at an unconscious level. So what happens is we set this goal, and we're going to do something different. The resolution is there. We're all motivated. We believe it. But we haven't integrated at an unconscious level. It hasn't become part of our identity. And so we start to revert back.
We do. And then we can also easily slip back into that reverting back.
Yep.
But on the same token, we can also easily revert back to stepping into your goal.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's a two-way street.
And it is easily done. And I think that the best part of the conflict from a pop culture reference is Groundhog Day. I love that, where he starts out, he's all excited, he gets excited about, this reliving the same day all the time, but he's faking it. He's not really real about making that change. And then it becomes this conflict. It gets frustrated, and it's like, this is really, really annoying. And he's like, there's that guy Ned, and he ends up punching him in the face because he's just so frustrated with seeing him all the time. And that's what this conflict is like. That's what's going on inside you. You might not be aware of it, but that's certainly what's going on inside you, and it's causing that that frustration, and we start to pull back because we haven't integrated that change.
Yes, and yes, change is very hard. But look, it works if you how can I put it nicely? If you not force yourself, just do it.
You don't have to be nice.
Well, we tend to overthink things. Is what I'm getting at. Way too much.
Yep.
And then when we're in that process where it's getting a bit vulnerable, the conflicts are starting to kick in. Should I? Shouldn't I?
Yeah.
Forget all that and just go and repeat. Set, rinse, repeat, over and over again. And before too long, it becomes an established part of your daily routine.
Well, that's where, when we're talking about conflict, when we have got conflict, naturally we want to move away from conflict. That's part of what's ingrained in our survival mechanism. It's much safer to be away from that conflict. And so when that conflict's going on inside our body, we've got this goal, we had the belief, it started out very strong, but then we're moving against what was familiar. All of a sudden we're starting to have that conflict, so it's easier to revert back to what feels safe. Well, it can feel easier to remove back to what feels safe. And that's where a reframe is to this new objective. If we create that as being safe, then we want to move towards that because it's easier to go that way. But unless we deliberately make that shift, and it's not hard to do that, it's just a conscious shift, which is why we're taking you through this process. When you understand the process, you go, well, okay, I start with a hope and a resolve and a belief, and now I'm having this conflict. So now you can notice that conflict and go, that's what's happening. And all of a sudden, it's not something to fear anymore. It's just part of the process, and you can easily move forward. So which is why we're highlighting that this conflict is there, so that then you go, okay, that makes sense. That's what's happening. I'm in my comfort zone. It hasn't integrated at an unconscious level. My identity hasn't changed. I just need to keep moving forward. And that's part of what bringing this to your attention is about.
Conflict is part of life. You can't avoid conflict. You can't deny conflict. The more you put it out of your life, the more it'll come back and bite you right on the backside.
It certainly does. It's like it's got that little elastic band.
Very much so.
Very strong one. The more you pull away,
and there are lots of people out there, particularly men who are very agreeable, that avoid conflict at all costs. It comes back and manifests in a really negative way. So if you have conflict about moving forward into your goal, particularly around gyms and around fitness and around weight loss, and you have conflict about moving forward, when you don't move forward and you go and you let that conflict win and avoid that conflict, you'll be reverting and going backwards to where you don't want to be and headlong into a new conflict. That conflict of putting you back right where you were.
Absolutely, Noel, and that's a really, really good point that you raised there, especially for men, and moving away from that conflict. That doesn't mean you have to be aggressive about it.
Absolutely
not. But it is really, really important when something comes out, and I think today in today's society, people use that against people quite aggressively, where they will subtly attack people to get them to push back, and it's something that you, especially as men, you need to push back on and go, hey, no, this is a situation, and there's ways of doing that, and we'll discuss that in other programs and other areas, and we talk about that in the business, wealth, and mental health programs that we have as well. But it is really, really important to not back down, which that's not a segue to a song. I won't back down.
Tom Petty.
Yeah, exactly. But that's not a segue, because that's not our next song. But it is. I think that's really, really critical in today's society too, especially for men. Too many men, basically, I'm going to put it bluntly, been taught to be pussies, and just back off. And it's like, no, you can stand strong, but in a polite way. You can do it in an assertive way, not an aggressive way. But you do consciously need to be strong inside and not back down to just from this conflict. If someone creates that, lean into it. Listen to what's going on, pay attention to what's going on, and then respond appropriately. Don't back down though. It's important. And that's where this conflict, when you're having that, when we come back to it. Sorry, you were going to say?
No, go on.
Yeah. No, I was going to go back to our segment. So,
I'm still with conflict too. I'd like to just stress that I have noticed over the past, say, 5 years or so, there has been a change in our language and the interpretation of language around particularly men who push back a little bit on issues that they would like to be heard on. And every time it's being interpreted as aggression. That's not the case. That's where the change in our language has shifted away from actually discussion, right, and conflict resolution, to be interpreted as aggression. That's not the case.
Yeah.
I've noticed that quite a lot. I've been actually in conversations where I've been speaking to people in relation to something that might be very contentious, and I get this reply, "But you're yelling this at me." But I haven't raised my voice. But it's the interpretation that when these people are getting this sensation of oh, I'm in conflict because there's a bit of pushback on the issue, right? And I'm going to have to stand into my opinion and reinforce my opinion as why I feel that way.
Yeah.
And the conflict's coming back, or you're yelling at me, or you're being aggressive. That's not the case. And this is the misinterpretation, the misuse of our language, which is going on right across the board. Sorry to get on my high horse, but I'm not really happy about it. But,
it's a whole topic of conversation.
Very much so.
It's very much. And there is I've forgotten the lady's name. Helen Andrews. She wrote about that very much so, in the sense of there is a tendency in what you're talking about, when someone doesn't agree with your opinion, they try to shut down the conversation, because, as you're saying, and then they use and say it's aggressive and things like that, and which is not the case. Pushing back, this is where we need to, again, hold your ground. Again, do it politely, and if the other person interprets that as as aggression, well, that's their issue, not yours.
That's
if you're speaking politely, then you can hold your ground.
And the strategy there is to just hold back, state your case calmly, and clearly state, I'm not raising my voice, I'm not upset about it, but I do want to put my point across, which may be in conflict with your position. Yeah. It's pretty simple,
and
really.
It's like anything. This is where the whole having those discussions are important, and this is where this is relevant to this point when we're talking about that conflict within your body is recognizing that that's going on.
Yes.
And that's okay. It's okay. And this is where debate and discussion is really important, because you explore new ideas. That's how innovation happens. That's how growth happens. That is the key point. Yeah.
That is the only way, through discussion, through conflict, and through negotiation, that we can work through our really hard societal issues, like the one coming our way with the implementation of AI.
Yeah,
we're not even discussing it.
There's a whole bunch of things, especially that we need to discuss. I mean, because there's a number of certainly there's some programs which I'm not going to mention here, but they spent billions of dollars on these programs and actually didn't get the result. It went the other way, which is really sad. But we'll that's another topic for another day. We're talking about resolutions here. There's a lot we can talk about, isn't there? We should do a current affairs show.
But
it is New Year's Day. It is New Year's Day, and we're talking about New Year's resolutions and the conflict. But this is what goes on within your body. This discussion, which where your whole body goes through that when you set a resolution and you're saying, "I want to be different," because that's why you're setting a resolution. But then at the same token, you're saying, "I want to be the same." That causes that conflict in your body, and this exact discussion, what we're talking about, is what's going on unconsciously in your body, which is causing that problem. And it's not something to consider as failure, because it's not failure. This is the natural part of the process. When we go through this growth phase, it is actually this really important step to actually to creating that growth. And the more you can embrace that, the quicker you can move through it. So
I think conflict is a necessary part of being a human being.
It is.
And that applies to New Year's resolutions as well. You will get a bit of conflict, probably about 5 to 10 days into your New Year's resolution.
And this is that conflict, and this is where we want to lean into it, because it's getting towards this step. It can be a bit of a slow burn, which is a song by Kacey Musgraves, which is our next song.
Love it. Love it.
But it's easing off the pace a little bit to recognize what's going on. When you actually get good at this, and it is a process, it's a behavior that you can learn, you actually just do it naturally, and it becomes, okay, I've set a goal. You actually don't even notice that you've gone through this conflict phase, because it just happens outside of your awareness, and all of a sudden you keep moving forward. But until you get good at it, these are the steps you go through, and it's a bit of a slow burn. So here's Kacey Musgraves.
Enjoy.
Texas is hot, I can be cold. Grandma cried when I pierced my nose. Good in a glass, good on green, good when you're putting your hands all over me. I'm alright with a slow burn, taking my time, let the world turn. I'm gonna do it my way, it'll be alright. If we burn it down and it takes all night, it's a slow burn. Yeah. In Tennessee, the sun's going down, but in Beijing, they're heading out to work. You know the bar down the street don't close for an hour. We should take a walk and look at all the flowers. 'Cause I'm alright with a slow burn, taking my time, let the world turn. I'm gonna do it my way, it'll be alright. If we burn it down and it takes all night, it's a slow burn. Whatever feels good. Old soul, waiting my turn. I know a few things, but I still got a lot to learn. So I'm alright with a slow burn. Slow burn. Slow burn. I'm alright with a slow burn.
What an absolutely beautiful morning here, Noel. It's Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to
you.
you and
Happy New-
everyone out there.
Exactly. Hopefully you had a great new year. 2025, we're halfway through the decade into 2026.
Yes.
Exciting. And it's going to
moving
be an
so
exciting
quick.
year. I think exciting year here in Latrobe City. Certainly so many things that we've got planned. It's going to be absolutely beautiful.
Do you reckon they'll look back on this time at 2026 like they do look back on 1926 as the Roaring '20s?
Oh, that's a good point. Maybe, you know, the economy is kind of going pretty well. I mean, there's a bit of, you know, mixture in there, but yeah, it's
You
certainly
know,
things
wasn't it the time
things
of-
are charging forward. There's certainly a lot of innovation
of-
happening. Explosion of AI is certainly moving forward.
Well, we are now over a quarter of the way through the century, the 21st century.
Ooh,
So
that's a good point.
must be-
Hadn't thought about that.
Well,
yeah.
you know, and we're almost at this stage of
Yeah.
our first 21st century generation.
Yes. Yeah.
2030 is 30 years is approximately a generation.
That's a good point.
So we're a
Noel.
generation
That's
in the 21st century. So if we look back a mere like to the 2000s, what has changed? There's been a considerable amount. But I'd like to go back a bit further to the 1920s, 100 years ago,
Yeah.
and have a look at what has changed. Because
It's a lot.
imagine
Yeah. No.
if we go from here to another generation, to say through to 2040 or 2050.
No computers.
What are we going to see then?
No mobile phones.
No, but they might be implanted in you.
Whoa. I was talking about the 1920s.
The Roaring 20s.
The Roaring 20s.
Sorry, David. That's right.
Was no mobile,
was that
mobile
wire?
phones.
They'd say, pluck it off the wall and they put it up to their phone.
Well, if you wanted to have multiple phone lines, you had to have multiple phones.
Yes.
It's like,
I forgot all about that.
Yeah, so,
Now we have a device in our pocket we can take out at any time, 24 hours a day, and speak to anybody on the globe.
Yeah.
And that machine carries the entire written history of human beings ever since they've been walking the planet.
More powerful than the computers that they used to send the rockets to the moon. How insane is that?
It's just amazing.
Yeah, the technology is wonderful, and how much it improves the quality of our life when we think about that. And also too, and that's where we're talking about resolutions and their impact and finding purpose, which is part of this this show that we're talking about, because we're in today's world, we're more connected than ever in history. So we should actually feel more connected, but yet we feel more alone.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where we've lost that ability to actually to have a purpose, to connect, and that's really, really important as we continue to move forward, is actually finding that purpose. And you talk about this a lot, Noel, in the sense of volunteering.
Yes.
Getting out there and being part of a community, helping do something, because you only find purpose when you actually go out and do something productive in society.
Yep.
You don't find it internally by just sitting on a couch and going, woe is me. You'll never find purpose that way. It's only when you contribute to the world that you find purpose.
And it might not be your exact purpose that you're looking for, but it certainly will give you options around what you do like and what you don't like.
Oh, absolutely.
Remember, volunteering is a surefire remedy for loneliness.
Yeah. And it is New Year's Day, so a good way to connect with other people. And also too, we're talking about resolutions and reverting to what feels safe. We set these resolutions, which is goal setting, which is something we do every moment if we want to, and how we revert back to what is safe, because we're asking ourselves of two things. We want to be different, yet we want to be the same as well. And growth requires that we actually change. And so we go through this process. We start with a bit of hope. We set a resolution. We resolve to do it. We grab that gym membership, and we believe we can do it. And then all of a sudden we hit what people lovingly call the wall. And all of a sudden this conflict kicks up. And we've got a decision to make. Do we stay? Do we go with what we want to be, or do we stay the same? And that's where, after the conflict, it becomes, we tend to revert back to familiarity, if I can say that word.
Yeah, we do, but we were never the same, because we've actually taken a few steps in the direction of our goal.
Absolutely.
We have changed a little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah.
But we're still very familiar and in familiar territory.
Yeah.
Remember, familiarity breeds contempt. I was once told.
There is that. We can put those quotes out there. But then this intention that we had, this motivation, it's softened a little bit, and it becomes, what are we going to do? How are we going to go forward? And, I don't know if I can do this. And we start to sow some doubt into our mind, or go, I like that chocolate cake, and all of the chocolate cake, not just having a little bit, but all of the chocolate cake.
Oh, all of the chocolate cake.
Yeah, so those old routines, they start to slip back in, and this is what we talked about before with habits, is it takes repetitive action to build that habit into an unconscious level, which is where our behavior comes from. So it becomes, we start to go back to, okay, that's what was comfortable, and we fall back rather than continuing to move forward.
They say 95, 96% and potentially higher of everything we do is done unconsciously, via the subconscious.
All the behaviour is unconscious, correct?
That's correct. So, we
well,
do
think
things
about it.
on
I'm drinking this coffee here. I'm not thinking about all the muscles to lift this up and down. All I'm thinking is, I want to drink coffee.
Yep, correct.
And then everything takes care of itself.
You're not even thinking about the amount of cognitive processing it is for your hand just to hold that there balance so you don't spill it on yourself.
Absolutely, Noel, correct.
There's so much going on.
And that's the thing, we consciously cannot think. That's why all behaviours are unconscious, because consciously you simply cannot process the information to do that. And that's where, when we come to the resolutions and our identity, until we actually make that change and make it unconscious, our identity becomes unconscious, our behavior becomes unconscious into the new behavior, we tend to revert back to what was the old behavior, because consciously it takes a lot more effort. Unconsciously it takes no effort.
That's correct. That's correct. And we're too busy. We're too busy on our screens. We're too busy going to work. We're too busy feeding the children, going shopping for the family. There's so much going on that to make changes, right, and break you out of your familiar ground, your comfort zone, is challenging.
Absolutely.
Very challenging.
And it's kind of like, I mean, I'm going to go to the Harry Potter series here.
Love Harry Potter.
Yeah, well, you think about it, when they're learning the magic, it's a bit messy, it's a bit all over the place, and things go wrong. And so in those moments where things go wrong and they're not going as we want them to be, it can be easy to just go back to what was safe and familiar, which is what we were talking about. And this is where those resolutions are a bit like that. It becomes really, really challenging. And not because it has to be challenging, but because we don't understand that process. What it requires is that we become comfortable with uncertainty. And uncertainty is okay. So it's like, well, we don't know how it's going to go out and how it's going to work, how things are going to happen. And that's all okay. We can live with that. And as a child, we did that all the time. We didn't have this certainty of how things were going to happen.
No.
We gave it a go. We did that, when we learned to walk. How many times did we fall over?
Yep, very much so.
Study shows about 8,000 times.
Yep. And how many times we get back up on our feet and go again, and get back on your feet and bump your head and go again, and you just kept on going until you got it down, until it became natural.
Yeah, and as an adult, we tend to have that, we become self-conscious and worried about what someone else might say, and you go, oh, I'm going to get embarrassed and whatever. And it's like, that's a choice. You don't have to be embarrassed. If you mess up, you mess up. So what?
Who cares?
Big deal. Yeah, who cares?
Have a laugh at yourself.
Exactly.
Because you are pretty funny.
Yeah.
I
think so.
I think so too.
You make these mistakes and it's like, yeah, whatever, And that's where, this is why we want to talk about this process, because that's what we go through. We do have that hope and belief. We start with that. And then all of a sudden the conflict kicks in, because we got this new personality or identity that we want compared to our old identity, and things aren't going quite as smoothly. And it's like that meme that you see of, the plan, which is start here, go to there, and it's a straight line. When is that ever going to happen? It's a unrealistic expectation. They go, reality, and it's all over the shop. That's the reality. It's always going to be the reality, so accept that. And when you understand this process, you go, well, okay, I'm going through this conflict phase. My identity, I want this. I want to be healthy. Me being overweight is not good for me. It's going to cause me to suffer a lot, certainly later on. I don't, it's one of those things that being unhealthy will affect you later on in life, if not now. So you can go, well, actually, this is better for me.
And we can feel a bit of shame. Like if you're going into the gym, you want to lose a bit of weight, and get down there and there's all these fit bodies bouncing around the gym with ease, right? We do feel a bit embarrassed and a bit self-conscious in relation to that. Yeah. Get all that out of your head. Well, everyone had to start somewhere. You're starting here today. Those people jumping around the gym that started 3 years ago were in the same spot as you. I'm a bit of a guitarist fan. Yeah. And I had take a lot of comfort in the idea that famous players like Jimmy Page, Jimi Hendrix started their playing career one note at a time. Absolutely. They weren't experts. They didn't know what they were doing. They were embarrassed when they first picked up that instrument to become world leaders. So we are the same. Absolutely. You're not born with an immediate skill. You have to learn it. You've had to learn every skill you have today, to this point today. So any skill you have to acquire beyond today, the 1st of January 2026, you have to learn. So be patient with yourself. Absolutely, Noel. And that's the point where we're highlighting this process, is you understand that the steps we're going through are not failure. It feels, sometimes we label it as failure, and it's not. It's actually just that learning process you're going through. If you're trying something new, it's called beginners suck. You're going to suck at it when you first try it. So you're not going to do it very well. Yes. And that's quite normal. The producer's eyes just went, what? But that's exactly right. It's beginners suck. I do You're like going to suck at it when you first start. And the thing is, it's not failure. This is why we give up. We go back to that familiar territory where we go, okay, actually, I tried to do this and it's not right, and it's not going to move back. But what you're actually going through is that process. It's that test. Is this something I really want?
is a way to look at it. So it's something it's testing you. Do you really want this?
Yes.
And you take that step forward. So
Is this for you?
don't look at it at failure at all, because it's not failure. You know, and you know, I think. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, well, there you go.
Robert the Bruce.
Robert the Bruce,
Yeah,
yeah, Pete the Bruce. Yeah, bit of history there. Exactly, come from the producer.
Bruce. Yeah,
exactly. So, and this is the point with that, is that everybody's got to learn sometime.
Very much they do.
They do, and which is my segue.
I was going to say, is that a segue?
to our
done
next
very
song.
well.
By the I can't even pronounce that. Korgis.
The Korgis.
The Korgis.
That sounds fantastic.
Yeah. So exactly. So when you're going through that process, just remember, everybody's got to learn sometime. Embrace the Korgis. And here's our next song.
Enjoy.
Change your heart. Look around you. Change your heart. It will astound you. I need your loving like the sunshine. And everybody's gotta learn sometime. Everybody's gotta learn sometime. Everybody's gotta learn sometime. Change your heart. Look around you. Change your heart. It will astound you. I need your loving like the sunshine. And everybody's gotta learn sometime. 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 Everybody's gotta learn sometime.
Well, we're back.
Indeed.
We're in the shade.
And Happy New Year
Happy
for 2026.
It is. It's a wonderful new year. And we're down here at Lake Narracan.
And it's beautiful.
It's absolutely beautiful. It's actually got very beautiful. We dressed up. Truth be told, we're actually going to plan to be out on the jetty this morning, but then we had a late change in location. So we kind of dressed to be a little bit cooler, but the sun has come out. Look how absolutely beautiful it is. I mean, you've been watching that as the show has progressed.
Look at it.
We had the mist right down. It was just absolutely fabulous and just perfect.
Just
and then the sun's come out, which is even more perfect.
I love Lake Narracan.
It's just beautiful. I love you. I mean, I was doing some searching on the interwebs, and I noticed, on YouTube there was quite a number of videos of people coming down to Lake Narracan and talking it up, which I find really fascinating. That it's people outside the region that are talking up the region. Which is good to see, and we need to bring a bit more of that here as well, because we do have such a wonderful location here. It's absolutely beautiful here at Lake Narracan.
Absolutely, and if you haven't
Latrobe
been,
City as a whole,
come on down and have a look. Oh look,
well, there's so many attractions and so many things to see and do. It's absolutely fabulous. Great. For those who are train nerds like myself, the Latrobe Valley Model Railway Association is just this absolutely beautiful, huge train layout. There's 3 massive layouts, 2 HO, 1 N scale for those that are into trains and know what I'm talking about. They're absolutely fabulous. Go and check it out. Latrobe Valley Model Railway Association in Moe. It's just one of the best. I've been to over 100 model train clubs around the world, and it's got to be one of the best.
Well, it reminds me a little bit, Damien, of the Maltese Museum.
Oh,
in Henry Street, Morwell.
Only one in the Southern Hemisphere?
Only one. Yes, that's right. But
right here in Morwell?
The thing with the Model Train Association and the Maltese Museum and the Brown Coal Museum as well.
Oh, that's amazing.
Is when you step in the door, you step into this whole different, your whole reality changes.
Exactly.
It's amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
As you go in there and all of a sudden, there's no outside. You're just in this environment which you weren't expecting at all.
No, you weren't. That's where, if you go to the Powerworks is another example of that.
Powerworks, yes.
You've got that massive dredge. We're going to do a show out there with the dredger in the background.
That's yes, we should. Yeah. Now the weather's getting better. But I will bring my hat for that one.
Yes. Well, maybe we'll set up a tent to work
That's
underneath.
A good idea.
We could do that too.
But the dredger, they come down. You can't miss the dredger when you're going through Morwell via the bypass.
Yeah, on the freeway.
You go past Morwell. It's on the right-hand side. You will see it, and that's one of the smaller ones.
Yeah,
because they're about 6 to 10 times bigger now. So go stop and have a look. It's amazing.
It is absolutely amazing.
And just remember that dredger supplied your electricity when you were a child going to school.
It did. It did.
Yes.
And then also too, if you go back to the Brown Coal Mine Museum, if you want to see what the cabin looked like and get inside the cabin, there's one of them there. You can go and check that out. It's pretty cool.
Did you know that some of the dredgers that run around the mines at the moment are so big that they have a lunchroom on them?
Oh,
and the workers get onto the dredger, enter the lunchroom, have their lunch and have their breaks, and then climb down and go about their business. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Yep. I'll have to go and check that one out, I think.
That's pretty big.
Yeah, they are massive.
Anyway,
we're here First Light discovering our Eden. As we can see, there's so much more than you imagined here in Latrobe City. This is First Light discovering our Eden of the East on New Year's Day.
Yes, what a great day.
It is a beautiful day, and we're talking about resolutions and reverting to what feels safe, because most resolutions fail because you're asking yourself to be someone different while at the same time wanting to stay the same. And we go through this process where we do want to be different, so we set a resolution. That's why we do it. We want to be, want to go to the gym, or we want to save some money or something like that, and we have this ambition, full of hope, we resolve to do it, we enroll, we believe we can do it, and then all of a sudden a bit of conflict kicks in. And we go, we convert. Again, there's conflict between what we want to be and who we are kicks in, and then you start to move back to familiarity. Exactly. And
support's waned.
Yeah. And
excitement's gone.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, the excitement's gone, and we go through the phase of reversion, which we completely, stop. We don't go to the gym anymore. We stop saving some money. All those kind of things, the things that we plan to do, we just go back to what we were doing before.
Yep.
And it can even happen, we can set a goal and we can actually not even bother to achieve it. Where we go through that process without even taking that action. We start with a belief, and then we go, nah, not even going to, bother doing it. And
correct. That's correct. And there's a a Moe boy from down here who's got a most famous podcast named Craig Harper, the New Project.
Yep.
He says when the work starts, it's not about the fanfare. It's not about who's watching you.
Yeah.
It's not about what's going on. It's about moving forward, particularly if you get the urge to resort back to your comfort zone.
Yeah.
You know, he says, don't forget the fanfare. It's not about that. It's you're not. It's not about eating a salad and a chicken breast.
No.
It's actually keep on moving forward through your discomfort zones.
Yeah,
leaning into the fear, leaning into the hardship, leaning into the conflict.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because reversion, as we're speaking about at the moment, will happen at like every turn.
I think a great example of that is from the movie Shawshank Redemption.
Yep.
When they're talking,
movie.
Yeah, it is a great movie, and
Tragic.
when they're talking about how that prison life becomes familiar, it becomes how their identity is, and even when it moved, one of the guys come out of prison, he actually wanted to stay there because he was too scared of what real life was like.
Yeah.
And that's what it's like in going on inside your mind. You've actually got, you're in a prison of where you are because you want to be something different. You want to be healthy. You want to, do all these things. Yet, you keep moving backwards because it's that familiarity. You become, you want to stay the same because you just don't know that there's this opportunity out there. You can't see that belief happening. And that's where that reversion kicks in. It's just like you subtly move back and subtly move away from things. Like you said, you don't go to the gym in the morning.
Yep.
You stop doing these things and you kind of just settle in. And what's really bad about that is what it does to your, I'm going to say to your soul, to your being. It actually causes really negative chemicals inside your body because it's like you've given up on having a purpose. It's really, really sad to go through that process because you had this, and we do that. We don't realize how badly that's affecting our ability to live a fully functioning life.
We tend to fall back into denial that didn't happen. I'm okay. I just won't go to the gym, or I won't continue with my goal.
Yeah.
And we can hide it and bury it very well on the surface, where anybody who's speaking to your friends wouldn't know the difference.
Yeah.
But ultimately, at the end of the day, that manifests very negatively in you, and it will ultimately manifest physically on you through sickness or strains, stress. There's a whole range of issues that come along with that. So that's why it's worthwhile leaning into that discomfort and having a look at that, because it doesn't matter which way you turn, but you get to choose your hard. It's hard to go to the gym.
Yeah.
It's hard to work out. It's hard to be motivated to do that. But the results and the rewards are very, very good.
Yeah.
It's also hard to come back, sit down. It's hard to eat a cake. It's hard not to be able to walk. It's hard to be immobilized and out of breath when you're climbing steps.
Yeah.
So you get to choose your hard. I think that's one of the benefits of achieving our goals, and pursuing our goals.
Absolutely, and this reversion process is where you really start to judge yourself, whether you're consciously aware of it or not. You start to really negatively look at yourself because you set something that you wanted to do, and then you didn't do it. And when you do that, when you go, okay, I'm going to achieve a goal, and you don't do it, it negatively affects you, which is really important about setting yourself up for success, which is a whole nother show, in setting goals in a way that gives you those successes, those quick wins. It's like little Mario in the game where he gets those little gold coins. You give yourself the little dopamine hits. You set it up in a way so you get those dopamine hits every day. Coming back to what you talked about, Noel, about setting goals is not just a New Year's resolution. It's in every moment you set goals and you set it up in a way where you can actually achieve these things. In every moment, you're giving yourself these little dopamine hits. That's why video games are designed the way they are, but you can design your life that way. So you set yourself up for this success in every moment. You're giving yourself these dopamine hits. But the opposite happens when you go the other way and you set this goal to do that, to achieve something, and then you don't. And you create the opposite. So you're producing cortisone in your body, which is very negative to your health, physical health.
Yes, correct. And it raises your stress levels. And,
100%.
It can over long periods of time can manifest in really negative physical ailments.
Yeah, and that's part of why we're talking about this in this way, is to showcase the process that goes through, that a lot of times we set these resolutions and we don't achieve them, and what that does for you, so you actually understand the process, because when you understand it, then you can do something about it, and it makes your life a lot easier.
Very much so.
And so it's one of those things where we do judge ourselves. And this is a moment where we need to have that understanding. Okay, when we're starting to revert, what's going on here? Well, this is that part of that negativity that's creating a whole host of problems inside our body. And it's not accidental. This is a normal process. So we've gone through, we've set a goal, we've had hope and belief. Then we've started to get that conflict because we've got two different things going on at the same time. And this is where you identify how you set your identity makes the difference. You talked about Noel going to the gym is hard work. I remember Arnold Schwarzenegger talking about that, and he was always talking about, he goes, I don't understand why the people, they're complaining, they're bodybuilders, and they're complaining about going to the gym. These are his words. He was saying, I used to go there and I used to love doing the extra reps. I used to love that because that was his identity, and that's what helped him move forward.
And didn't he do a good job?
Well, and
Mr. Terminator, Governor.
Exactly. Well, and this is the thing. We have so much potential to do these things when we actually reframe it that way. That's not hard work. This is something I enjoy.
And you don't have to be Mr. Universe. You just have to be you.
Whatever it is
and
you want to do.
And if you are achieving goals to your standard, to what you want to achieve, then the improvements will come. They do come. Not immediately, but they will arrive. And before too long, you'll turn around. 3 months will be past, and you'll be going, wow, I feel great.
Absolutely. And that's part of this process. Part of it is to understand that we're going through this. This is normal. This is a normal process. It doesn't have to be hard. It can be a stable song, which is the best I can do for a segue to our next song.
You did very well.
By Gregory Isakov. And this is with the Colorado Symphony. But it's one of those things where it is, it's finding that, understanding that is okay, that especially when we're new to this process and learning this skill, and it is a skill when you do it at an unconscious level.
Much so. It's a learned skill,
it's
a learned behavior. Skill. Absolutely.
And it's hard because we're not used to it. But when we get used to this process of goal setting, and then we go through this uncertainty, and it all happens at an unconscious level, all of a sudden every day just becomes this meaningful purpose. We're living this dream, and it does happen if you have those skills.
And if you're persistent enough, Damien, what happens is when you don't do it, when you don't go to the gym, when you don't do what you have implemented, that you start to think there's something missing.
Yeah.
And you stop until you find what that missing thing is, and then you go and do your reps.
And that's the difference, Noel, is what we're taking about is you're going, something's missing.
Yeah.
But we're taking away the self-blame. We're taking away the criticism of ourselves. And we're really, really harsh on ourselves in those moments where we've set a goal and things are struggling. We start to criticize ourselves, which makes it even worse.
Yeah.
Makes it more difficult, makes it hard. Whereas if you go, okay, this is part of the process, which is the purpose of this show, is to show you the process and go, this is normal. We just need to move through it we need to recognize it, then we can move through it a bit quicker.
Very much so.
Yeah.
And when you get to that point, that you have a whole new range of issues to deal with. Yeah. Letting yourself down because you're not going there, finding time to get down there, giving yourself a stern talking to because there's something missing in your life.
Yeah.
It's amazing how that happens.
Giving yourself a stern talking to, isn't it? It's like, let's berate ourselves.
Well, no, I didn't mean it like that. I meant like, you haven't, the gym instance, for instance, right? Yeah,
it's like,
I've only been to the gym once this week. Oh, really? Listen, you need to get down the gym and, so go on, off you go. Put that, like you're in the kitchen going to do something, put that down and go to the gym. That's what I meant by stern
exactly, That's that identity where you create and you go, okay, I can do that. Yeah, exactly. So here's the stable song by Gregory Isakov.
Enjoy.
Remember when our songs were just like prayers, like gospel hymns that you called in the air. Come down, sweet reverence, unto my simple house and ring, and ring. Belly of the beast or the sword that fell, oh, we'll never tell. Come to me, clear and cold, and some sea. Watch the world spinning waves like some machine. I've been crazy, couldn't you tell? I threw stones at the stars, but the whole sky fell. Now I'm covered up in straw, belly up on the table, and I drank and sang and passed in the stable. Oh, oh, oh. That tall grass grows high and brown. Well, I drag you straight in the muddy ground, and you send me back to where I roam. Well, I cursed and I cried, but now I know. Oh, and now I know. Back to that hollow again. Oh, the moon was just a sliver back then, and I ached for my heart like some tin man. When it came, oh, it beat and it boiled and it rained. Oh, it's ringing. Crazy, ring like hell, turn me back into that wild-haired gale. Ring like silver, ring like gold, turn these diamonds straight back into cold. Turn these diamonds straight back into cold. Turn these diamonds straight back.
It is an absolutely beautiful morning here on Lake Narracan. The sun is out.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it? Wow, I'm actually a little bit lost with how amazing the birds are here. The duckies have disappeared somewhere else. They've had their feed and they're obviously gone off.
They're gone off for a swim.
They've had their coffee. Fat Cat Coffee Roasters from Dambo's. Big shout
absolutely.
out.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
What a treat.
Yep.
Fat Cat.
It is. I mean, they're loving it. And we needed I think we need to order double. We can come down here.
Or bigger cups.
Bigger.
I wonder if they've got litre cups.
We get a jumbo. Want a jumbo. This is First Light discovering how Eden of the East, because Latrobe City
is more than you can imagine.
Certainly on a New Year's Day like today is. It's absolutely a beautiful New Year's Day here. Look at the sun is out. It's
absolutely. As I said
birds
earlier.
Up there chirping. I don't know if you can hear them on the microphones, but they're chirping away.
Yeah, too.
Yeah.
As I said earlier, looking forward to the barbecue.
Yeah, well, there is that too. It's New Year's Day barbecue. But we are talking about resolutions and reverting to what's safe. A lot of times our resolutions, our goals fail because we want to be something different, which is why we've set the goal, but at the same time we want to be the same person as well, and they conflict. And we go through this process where we start out with all good intentions. We've got hope and we've got resolve and we've got belief. We've enrolled in that gym membership. We put some money away or whatever it is, that first step. Then all of a sudden that conflict kicks in because behavior comes from our unconscious mind, which means we need to integrate that new behavior or that new identity as part of our unconscious so that we can move forward. Until we do that, we have conflict going on inside us between what was the previous behavior or previous identity and the new identity. Now, you can make that happen really quickly, and that's what this process is about. It can happen instantaneously at an unconscious level. But we need to understand the process. We go through that conflict and we revert back to familiarity and we have that reversion. And that's where it really becomes negative to ourselves when we set this objective, and if we don't do it, it really causes us to have some negative results in our body. We get the opposite of little Mario with his gold coins, and the dopamine hits. We get cortisol building up in our body, which is really negative. This is where that next step is to go through that process. It's compassion for yourself. So, and you can, again, we can do that instantaneously, but we take it through the steps. So when you notice that you're starting to revert, give yourself a bit of compassion and go, hey, okay, well, I recognize what's going on here.
Yes, once you start to recognize those sensations and feelings that you hold within yourself and start to take a bit of time to think about them, you'll understand them a little bit better and be able to act to circumnavigate that emotional response. That can happen. It just takes practice. As we are our own harshest critics, always. But I've had it on good authority that we really should look after ourselves, like we've been given the responsibility to look after a child and treat ourselves the same way. We tend to look after our pets, pets better than we look after ourselves.
Pets, our collectibles, our cars.
Much better than we look after ourselves, which is a real shame because that can manifest in very, very negative ways.
And that's what this process is, Noel. It's about understanding that when we go through that and we've taken that step forward and we're going through what I mentioned before about beginners suck, we are compassionate with ourselves and recognizing this is part of the process and this is okay. And we're staying present without being critical. And the other thing is we're choosing patience over pressure and recognizing, okay, there might be a bit more of a process that we needed to go through than we anticipated. We underestimated what it was going to take to actually make this change. And that's okay, and not being critical about yourself, just recognizing it for what it is. And that's where being present is really, really important.
And it's not a weakness to feel a bit of compassion for yourself. It's actually very good advice, really, at the end of the day, because if we're constantly critical of ourselves, it manifests physiologically negatively. One of the ways that I find is a positive start to be able to address this lack of compassion for yourself is to when somebody gives you a compliment and you notice that you're saying, you're putting it off. Oh, that wasn't me, or that was the next door neighbor, or it was the dog, whatever the excuse is, to deflect that compliment, you start to say, thank you for the compliment. Just thank that person
that
for
is
that compliment.
gold. Yeah, that is absolutely. If you can say when someone gives you a compliment and you can genuinely say thank you,
Yes.
it shows a real strength in your own self-esteem, and in your own being and the love of yourself, which is really, really critical, really, really important.
And in the beginning, when you start that process, this is showing true compassion for yourself. When you start to thank people for their compliments, you will find that is one of the most difficult things you have to do. You'll go through a range of emotions, including shame, embarrassment, awkwardness, but just do it. Because like anything that you practice, it will become easier. It will start to benefit you in many, many ways, and you'll start to show compassion for yourself.
And that compassion, I mean, another way of recognizing that, you know, you need to manifest that in your life and just create that and make that happen, is a lot of times we look back with hindsight and we say, oh, we should have done this or we could have done that. And all that language is just, it's completely irrational. You can't should have done anything differently.
Correct.
You can't go back in time and change that. And one of my favorite examples of that was shared with me was talking about and going, oh, you know, you should have bought, you know, Coca-Cola stock back in the 1920s. You know, we were talking, and someone goes, well, I wasn't born then. And you said, well, you could have been. You know.
Yeah, well, that's correct.
You know, it's, you know, and it just highlights the irrationality of those kind of statements. Coming in saying, you know, oh, you should have done this way, and even suggesting it to other people. It's kind of, you know, you can't should have done anything any differently. It is what it is. Now, next time you might say, well, next time I will do it differently. Well, that's an actual practical statement. That's showing compassion for yourself, which is what we really need to do. And it's like, I think, again, I've mentioned this in another show, one of the great examples of this self-compassion is from the movie Good Will Hunting, and the scene where he says, it's not your fault. You know, it's one of those things, except, you know, these things in life, you know, you have a number of things that led to where you are now. And so it's not your fault there, but it is your fault for going forward. That's a different thing. It's your choice to do something different here in the moment. But beating yourself up for stuff that happened in the past, even if you did it, it was a process of you did the best you knew how to do in that given moment, whatever that moment was.
At that time.
At that time, correct. We can all look back in hindsight and go, oh, I should have done this. But again, it's an irrational statement. It's not possible to go back in time and do it any differently. It's how you did it.
And some people who show a lack of compassion towards themselves sometimes fall into a negative cycle of taking on responsibility for other people's emotional states.
Yeah.
Once you start once you start down that road,
and that's what you were talking about before,
it's
Noel.
Very
it's like
negative.
When you're having the conversation with someone and you're asserting your position and it's different from theirs, and they're saying you're being aggressive as a way of shutting that down. You know, it's something that you do need to, you know, have that compassion for yourself and say, hey, no, this is my position.
Correct.
Now, you can have a different one, and that's completely okay. And that's where it was interesting watching Charlie Kirk. You know, in some of his discussions, because he would be very much, you know, accepting of other people having a different opinion. He didn't agree with it, but he, you know, he goes, well, okay, we disagree. Many times he would say, okay, we disagree, and that's okay. And this is where you need to have that for yourself, that compassion for yourself, and go, okay, well, this happened, and that's okay. It's really, really important to do that, to go through that process of compassion, because that's how we're going to get through these resolution issues that we've got. The goal setting, where we set a goal and we take those steps, it doesn't quite work, and then we start beating ourselves up and we go through that reversion, and then we beat ourselves up even more because we've failed, whether we're consciously aware of it or not. We're doing it, which is negatively affecting your mental and physical health. To actually give yourself that self-compassion, go, okay, well, that happened. What am I going to do now? What is my goal? What's the step I'm going to take?
Because in point of actual fact, you haven't failed. You've actually succeeded because you're going through a process, a learning process. There is no failure.
That's exactly the point.
There is no right, there is no wrong. You're working through a complex issue.
Yeah.
That's how we get to the other side of them and create strategies to deal with difficult situations.
Because this resistance that we're feeling, it's not self-sabotage. It's just part of that process, that growth process that we go through. All growth requires resistance. When you look at an oak tree, a strong oak tree, the reason it's strong is it's had the resistance of the wind helping it become strong. As it grows, it becomes stronger to be able to resist that. Its root system grows down to resist that. And that's a resistance that creates the strength. So it's self-protection. This resistance is actually giving you self-protection. What you're lacking is the need to, or the ability to understand that's what it is, which is what we're talking about, is actually so that you understand that this resistance is actually the need to understand that process, which is really, really important as part of our process of going through, because again, you're able to then give yourself that self-compassion because you understand this is the process. It's really, really important.
Yes, and it's a practice. It's something you can't just walk into or lean into with ease. It's going to be very, very challenging to turn that round.
You haven't done it, yeah. When you get used to it, it's just normal.
Yeah, it is, and it'll change you like holistically.
Yeah,
like I know I'm very conscious of language. Negative. I don't speak negative language towards myself or my family at all, ever, because it's so destructive, and that's what programs us. That's what sets our beliefs and our identities.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you are noticing you're telling yourself off a little bit excessively,
I should have done. As soon as you start, should have, could have, would have.
Well, you bloody you're right. You've done something. You walked out with it. Keys. Really, you just got keys. You just got to turn around and get them again.
Yeah.
But it's that process of you telling yourself off is hugely negative, and it's not showing yourself compassion, and it starts down a very negative path.
Absolutely, Noel. And that's where this giving the compassion stage of this process we're talking about. What you're doing is you're saying, I'm going to give myself only love.
Yep. You're on the ball. I was just going to say the same thing, Damien. Great minds think alike. Eh?
Yeah, but that's what compassion is. Only love. You're giving yourself only love, which is okay. This is a song by Ben Howard, absolutely fabulous song, but it really embraces, it showcases what you really need to do for yourself. That compassion. You go, okay, I made a mistake. That happens. Okay. You should have done it differently.
It's okay.
What am I going to do next time to avoid doing that? Yeah. And all of a sudden, because you've given yourself that compassion, you're able to learn faster and you can move forward quicker.
Yes, and it's quite easy to resolve whatever issue it is that you've mistakenly put yourself into.
Yeah.
You don't need to berate yourself over it. You just got to go, okay, it's an opportunity to learn.
It is. So here's Only Love by Ben Howard.
Enjoy.
Darling, you're with me, always around me. Only love, darling, I feel you under my body. Only love, give me shelter, or show me heart. Come on, love, watch me fall apart, watch me fall apart. Always around me. Only love, darling, I feel you under my body. Only love, give me shelter, or show me heart. Come on, love, watch me fall apart, watch me fall apart. you under my body. Only love, my only love, will give me shelter, will show me heart. Come on, love, come on, love. Watch me fall apart, watch me fall apart. Watch me fall apart, watch me fall apart. Watch me fall apart. Watch me fall apart. Only love, love, love. Only love, love, love. Only love, love, love. Girl, show me heart. Come on, love, love, love. Come on, love, love. Come on, love, love, love. Watch me fall apart. Come on, love, love. Come on, love, love. Come on, love, love, love. Girl, show me heart. Show me love, love, love. Show me love, love, love. Show me love, love, love. Watch me fall apart. Darling, I feel you under my body. Darling, you're with me forever and always. Give me shelter, or show me heart, and watch me fall apart, watch me fall apart.
I've done really well, Noel. I've managed to keep my Fat Cat coffee roasters from Dambo's Coffee almost to the end of the show. I've got a little bit left in here. I just
I've
had
got
a
a little
sip.
bit left too. I've been pacing myself out because it's a bit of a distance back
It's
to
a little
Dambo's.
bit, it is a bit of a distance from here, but it is also to a wonderful coffee and a wonderful location here at Lake Narracan in Latrobe City. It's more than you imagine. There's so much going on.
Yes.
And I can say I'm really, really feeling a bit of jealousy right now because I can hear someone on a jet ski just around the corner there.
Yeah, what a
They
morning
seem
to
to
be
be
on
getting
the
a bit
lake.
closer. They might come past very shortly. But,
What
you know,
a morning to be on the lake.
Yeah.
It is just beautiful.
It's magic.
What a
isn't it?
morning.
It's a beautiful spot here. Absolutely fabulous. And we've got some plans for some events down here too later in the year. This is New Year's Day here.
Yes.
2026, got some exciting events planned.
Yes,
So it's going to be
indeed
wonderful.
we
Eden of the
do.
East Foundation has got some things out there. And this is First Light, discovering our Eden of the East, because Latrobe City is more than you imagine. There it is. I think it is. Oh, there he goes, the jet ski.
There you go.
You can see the jet
As
ski
you
out there.
As you do.
Yeah, so what a beautiful morning. What a way to be here. What a way to be here. My language is all over the place this morning. I'm way, way too excited, I think. And I haven't had enough coffee.
What a great brand new day. What a great brand new year.
Yeah.
Welcome to the 1st of January 2026.
Yeah.
And I've been
And
looking forward to 26.
the second quarter of the century.
The second quarter of, yes, we've entered the second quarter of our 21st century.
We have.
See, wasn't
Have we
Roger
now?
Ramjet going to be from the 21st century, or was that right? I don't know. Write in and tell us.
Exactly. But we are talking about resolutions and reverting to what feels safe, because a lot of times we will set a resolution, we'll set a goal, and we have conflict in our body because we want to be something different, but at the same token we want to be the same. And we go through this process where we start with a bit of hope and belief. We're going to do it. We roll in the gym, and then all of a sudden we start to have that internal conflict between what we want to be and the new identity. And then we can revert, which causes a whole bunch of negativity in our body, producing cortisol, which is really nasty, does nasty stuff.
Yes.
And what we need to do in those moments when we recognize that is actually have a bit of self-compassion, which we talked about, so that we actually accept that this is the normal part of the process. When we accept that process, and I think all the programs, your AA programs and things like that, all talk about acceptance.
Yep. Very much so.
Which is the next stop. So we self-compassion, and when we're talking about acceptance, this is where that understanding settles in. We go, okay, we've gone through that, had an idea of where we want to be, we've taken some steps towards this, we haven't got there yet because it hasn't integrated at an unconscious level, and understanding that behavior is unconscious is really, really critical, especially when we're looking at change, because then we know that it doesn't just happen. We've got to integrate it at an unconscious level. And I'm going to rephrase that. It does just happen when we understand how to speak to our unconscious and make change at an unconscious level.
Yep.
It can happen instantaneously, but until we learn that, we tend to hold on to the way things were because it's safe and familiar.
And that works because that's the basis of NLP. Neuro-linguistical programming is they speak to your subconscious and then you slowly change behaviours. But we can do that. We can do that ourselves just through practicing a same positive behaviour some behaviour to change a behaviour that you want.
Well, and that's absolutely correct, Noel. You can change it in any behaviour in an instant. It's understanding how your unconscious works and being able to speak to your unconscious and being able to allow your unconscious to change. But the unconscious doesn't change through stress and force. It actually is the opposite. By letting go. That's how change happens. Because if you're holding on to something, you can't become something new. So if you're holding on to this is who I am now, you cannot become something new. I'm going to finish my coffee.
Acceptance is very important. I've found that the faster we can accept a situation, be it negative or positive, the quicker we can take the lesson and the learning from that situation and move on and apply the lesson into our lives moving forward. The sooner we can accept, the sooner the steam go out of issues.
Absolutely, Noel. And this is where acceptance is really important because a lot of people frame acceptance as resignation, but it's actually the growth phase. It's, this is the part where we're going letting go of that old identity, because why would you set a resolution to be something different if you wanted to hold on to being the same? They don't compute, they don't logically sit together.
Mutually exclusive.
Exactly. And this is where that acceptance, it's not resignation, it's actually letting go of that old part to allow the new growth to happen. It's like a little flower. You're this flower that's just budding and you're starting to grow, and it's letting go of the old, and you give yourself a little bit of a trim. So you're deadheaded, which I like to refer to on the Plant Life show that I host on 104.7 Gippsland FM, giving that a bit of a plug. But you actually then start this new growth, and that's what that acceptance is. So you need to reframe that from resignation. It's not resignation, it's actually growth, and it's a way to lean into it and moving forward. It's important to recognize that that's part of who you are, and trying to push past it requires energy and often results in failure. So it's
again, I can't emphasize enough accepting the situation for what it is, and that's what you've got to deal with. Cussing and cursing and ranting and raving doesn't change the situation, whatever it is. Spilt milk, for instance, it's spilt. It doesn't matter how much you yell, how much you dance and carry on, it's spilt. You have a situation you have to deal with. The quicker you accept
a cloth.
the quicker it'll be cleaned up, the quicker you'll move on.
Absolutely, Noel. And this is where what you talk about a lot, volunteering. Getting out and volunteering is a great way of going through this acceptance phase, because you're making a change. And you're going, well, actually, when you're actually starting to do something, the meaning comes from action, not from just sitting there thinking about it. Meaning can never come from thinking about something. Yes, we need to think about things to move forward, but the meaning comes from then doing something and acting and moving forward. And that's where we find a lot of depression starts to happen, is people start to overthink things. They're sitting there still, and that's where that negativity builds up, because you're over-processing it and you're not actually creating meaning, because meaning comes from action.
Very much so. And imagine, with all our New Year's resolutions, and all the changes we're going to make in 2026, how wonderful people we will be at the end of 2026 going into 2027.
It's amazing, especially with all the things that we've got technologically coming forward with AI and the way it's going to assist our lives and things like that. It's absolutely amazing to create this, but it only is, you only get the benefit of that when you actually have purpose, and that purpose is beyond feeling that need that you have to go to work and that kind of thing, but finding what works for you and how you are contributing to something beyond yourself. That's where purpose comes from. And this acceptance, going through that process, is we accept, and it lowers resistance. It makes it easier to move through the change. And that's what we're talking about. This combination of compassion, self-compassion, self-love, and acceptance is what actually enables this change to happen instantaneously. If you accept yourself and you have that self-love and compassion, all of a sudden change happens instantaneously. It's just quite amazing how that works.
And if you don't believe it happens, try it. Give it 3 weeks at max. And because you reflect that. Once you start reflecting that love and that self-compassion, you then reflect that outwardly, and other people start to pick it up. People start coming to you and going, "You've changed."
Yeah.
You know, you're just so vibrant. You're shining and
It's
give it
amazing.
a go.
Yeah.
Give it 3 weeks. Do
Yeah.
it for 3 weeks consistently. Be kind to yourself. Be thankful what you've got. Show a bit of gratitude, and you watch the change. If it's not so, I'll eat my hat.
Absolutely, Noel. You mentioned about setting goals, not just in New Year's, but throughout the day, each day, and throughout the day we talked about. And it's amazing how when you have in any given moment you have a goal, all of a sudden people notice that, and they note and they go, you just walk with a purpose. You're going somewhere, and it's because you are going somewhere. You're not just drifting aimlessly. You're not having a conversation just because you haven't got anything to talk about and you just need to fill the void. You're actually going somewhere, and this is where that acceptance process enables you to move towards that, because every moment is a goal. You're achieving something. And you're not pulling back. You're not just aimlessly drifting. You're actually moving forward. And it might be, as simple as having a conversation that's your goal, is to listen to another person and find out what's going on for them. Or it might be just having a quiet moment of reflection. It's amazing how someone who has a goal of having a quiet moment of reflection is just sitting there and relaxing, also feels like you look and they go, well, they actually, they look centered. They look like they've got a purpose, and because you do.
It almost looks like Holocene.
You're going to get in there eventually. That's a nice segue. Well done. Well done.
That's a really hard one to segue.
And this is what acceptance is. You're accepting, and you're not surrendering. You're accepting, and this is what this song is about by Iver. It's really about that.
Great song.
Yeah, it is a fantastic song. It reminds you that you're not small, that you are a being. You're an infinite being that of infinite potential, and that this process that you're going through is not a problem. It's the normal process. So don't fight against it.
Yes, don't. Go with the flow.
Accept it as well, and then go through that process. So here's Iver and Holocene.
Enjoy.
Fucked it, friend, it's on its head, it struck the street. You're in Milwaukee off your feet. And once I knew I was not magnificent. Christmas night, clutch the light, the hello bright. Above my brother and saying it's fine. We smoked the screen to make it what it was to be. And I don't know what it is around me. And once I knew I was not magnificent.
This is First Light discovering our Eden of the East, because Latrobe City,
There's more than you can imagine.
it is more than you imagine. We're here at Lake Narracan. We finished our Dambo's coffee. Well, I finished my Dambo's coffee.
Yes, I've
Fat Cat
finished
Coffee
too.
Roasters.
Just delicious.
I think I'm going to get one on the way home after this.
I think another coffee is in order.
I think it is. It's such a beautiful place to go. Go check out Dambo's, wonderful little cafe there in Newborough. There's so many wonderful places to connect with people, and you know, I know today we feel more disconnected than ever in history, yet we are more connected. But you know, just get out there and speak with someone, have a chat, or just connect with yourself, which is what we're talking about.
You'll find it amazing how many people are willing to pull up and have a chat with you while you're walking down the street, standing at a counter, standing at a cash register.
Especially if you ask them about them.
Oh, works every time.
It does. But we're here at Lake Narracan. It is absolutely beautiful. The cloud's coming back over again, which is a bit of a relief. It was getting quite warm there. We were planning on being out on the jetty, but we made a last-minute change because it was so beautiful.
We'd
here
be like
on
two
the lawn.
fried frogs.
Exactly. We might go for a dip in the water to just refresh. We've had the jet skiers out. It's such a peaceful morning. The ducks have been out. It is so relaxing here. It's just so quiet. And
Yeah, it's
peaceful.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Look, there's picnic tables. You can sit down. You can go
Yeah.
for a swim. You can walk
We
out
did
on
that
the
the
jetty.
other day. We had fish and chips by the lake. It was
What a
absolutely
great
beautiful. Yeah.
I usually bring down my fold-up chairs,
Yeah.
have a little bit of a nap up between chapters of my book.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
You got the
absolutely.
long layout ones?
No. No, I've only got the armchair model.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about upgrading for 2026.
Is there a resolution
So I'll
for
have
you?
to go shopping.
You go shopping, I've got a couple in the garage. You can borrow Nola. So it's one of those
Fantastic.
things.
I like the ones with the little
stretch
coffee
out and you can
table
lay
on the
down.
side. You know, a little coffee table on the
Yeah,
side.
you can have your Dambo's
Yeah,
coffee
they're pretty
there.
cool. But they don't come with a footstool. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you need that footstool as well.
Absolutely. And I'll bring my own cushion.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. Very, very important.
Got to plan ahead.
100%.
That's called compassion, self-compassion.
Give yourself a bit of self. We are going through that process. We're talking about resolutions and reverting to what feels safe. And a lot of the times when we set a goal for ourselves, we create a conflict between what we want to be and who we are in at the moment. And it makes it difficult for us to move forward. But we do start with a bit of hope and a bit of belief, and then we go through this process. The conflict kicks in because the new identity hasn't been created at an unconscious level, and behaviors are unconscious. So when we look at what we're doing, it is a behavior. Everything we do is a behavior, whether it's going to the gym or not, or whether it's saving some money, there is all behaviors, and that's unconscious. And until we integrate that at an unconscious level, that new identity, we're going to have this conflict. And that's where, you know, we then start to go through that, you know, we start to revert, and we revert back to our old identity. The resolution falls away, but that creates a whole host of negativity within ourselves. But when we understand this process, which is what this show is about, showcasing the process, the steps that actually go through, we're breaking it down into its minute details, then you can have a bit of self-compassion, go, this is part of the process. And when you learn the process, it's a skill. When you learn that process, you have that self-compassion, you accept that that is the process, it becomes easier to make that change. And that's where the clarity comes in, which is that last moment. And this is where we can jump from the goal straight to clarity when we understand the process, because that change happens it can happen at an instant, at an unconscious level.
I think we have to spend a lot of time in the present. We spend far too much time in the future, in our minds, and far too much time in the past, in our minds. And we tend to neglect the present. I think you find clarity in the present.
Absolutely.
Because really you are who you are in the present. And you should learn to appreciate who you are in the present of each moment. And we do tend to lose that focus.
That's what you're absolutely what you're talking about, Noel, is staying in the present. And this is what this process is about, is recognizing the present moment. You set a goal, you've taken a step towards that. It hasn't gone as you envisioned in your mind, which never was going to anyway, because it was never going to be a straight line, and it was never going to be that. And until you got the skill to do that, it's going to have some challenges to it. But being present is recognizing, okay, this is part of the process, and that's where you can immediately kick into that compassion and acceptance, going, okay, I took a step, it didn't work. I woke up, I wanted to go, I had planned to go to the gym. I woke up, I didn't feel like it. I can tell you, I did not feel like getting out of bed this morning, and my snooze went for, for 10 minutes. The alarm was going off, and it was like, all right, I got to get up. And I wasn't hitting snooze, but I was sitting there going, I didn't want to get out of bed, but it was like, okay, that's part of the process, and up you get. But I'm having a fabulous time now that I'm actually here.
Yeah, very much so. I got up out of bed myself quite early this morning and didn't want to get up after a little phone call at 2:30. Anyway, no, that's another story.
Yes.
And after wandering around the house, patting the cat, having a refreshing drink, and looking out at the day, and having a little walk around the backyard at about 5:45 this morning,
barefoot,
which was barefoot, of course, earthing. I was so pleased I got up. I realised why I enjoy getting up so early in the morning, although it's hard. Push through that barrier, as we've spoken about in the show, and the rewards were on the other side.
Absolutely, Noel. You and I have a different version of earthing. You have earthing where you take your shoes off and walk around on the wet grass, which is fantastic. I love that. I still haven't tried it. I'm going to have to do it. Well, I have done it, but not intentional like you have done. But my version of earthing is digging up the ground at your lawn botanic garden and planting flowers, which is, I don't think it's the same effect, but it's certainly
barefoot.
I'll put a shovel through my toe.
No, but just be careful. Be careful.
But this is what we're talking about, this clarity, as you say, being in the moment. And this is when we recognize that this whole process becomes really, really simple and really easy, because we go, okay, I've set a resolution. This is my identity. I'm not trying to force it to happen anymore. I'm not trying to convince myself. I've just accepted that this is the new identity of who I am. I'm going to the gym once a week, or whatever your goal is, and you accept that as it is. That clarity is there. You don't have to force it. You don't have to make it happen. Yes, in the moment, like this morning when I got up, it's like, well, I've committed to doing a show, so I get up and do that. But it becomes part of your identity. So in those moments when you don't want to do it, it becomes, well, this is my identity. It becomes that thermostat that we were talking about earlier. It becomes uncomfortable to stay the old way. It becomes uncomfortable to stay in bed because your identity says you should be out doing this, and you've accepted that, and that's that clarity that you get.
It does that, and we were speaking about that earlier in the show. There's something missing in your life. You haven't fulfilled a role or something because the neuroplasticity, the neurological pathways have been established in your mind. Now, when they're not fulfilled, something's missing. That takes about 3 weeks. That's why I applaud you. Anything you want to try or change, give it about 3 weeks. Just persist for 3 weeks, and it becomes almost second nature.
And when you go through this process and understand that's how that's working, you go straight to this clarity moment, like this morning when I was getting up. I just needed that little bit extra time just to relax a little bit. The alarm was going off, and let it go. Fortunately, my alarm is just a relaxing music, so it's not some it's relaxing music, so it's quite calm to late. But I allowed myself to have that time just to get myself, just to relax that little bit. But what it does is when you get to this clarity point, this resolution, clarity, this is my new identity, all of a sudden everything arrives calmly. It's not stress about making it happen. You've got to force yourself to go to the gym or anything like that. It is just that piece of calm that happens, and away you go.
Yes, and you become slowly but surely a little bit happier about the new you.
Oh, absolutely, Noel. And this is where, when you're looking at it, it creates less pressure in your life. So it's you have fewer rules. So there's less shoulds, woulds, couldas, and you're living life more honestly. It's actually quite, and it's really, really relaxing to live in that space where you're accepting this situation. And it's really, really wonderful when you go through that process. And another great pop culture example of this is from Lord of the Rings. And Frodo doesn't succeed because he's powerful. He succeeds because he keeps going as himself, which is really important when you think about this. When you think about you as a being, you're a being and then you have behaviors. So when you separate those two, you go, well, I'm myself, I'm my being, this is my personality, but these behaviors, I want to change that. I want to be a little bit healthier. So my behavior is going to the gym. And you succeed because you are you, just doing different behaviors to achieve a goal that you've set for yourself. And I'm really jealous of this guy on a jet ski, or girl. Don't know who. Can hear them going around. I want to go.
It sounds fun.
It certainly is. So it's one of those exciting things we want to be there. But this is what we're talking about here, is this clarity. You can go straight from resolution to clarity, when you understand that that's the process, especially when you throw in the self-compassion and the acceptance.
Very much so. The clarity, the clearness of your direction and who you are. And that sets up a new paradigm for you to look at new goals to pursue, to take you another step along your journey.
Absolutely. Belief isn't forcing change. It's allowing it to go. If you force it, you're going to get exhausted. And this is where a lot of resolutions fail, because we go through this process and we're forcing against the old identity. We thought, I've got to struggle against this. Whereas if you go, well, my new identity is I just get up and, once a week I'll go to the gym. This is my day. It's going to happen because this is who I am. All of a sudden it becomes part of your everyday and you don't have to force it. And you're trusting yourself to grow at your pace, to do things at your pace, to what you said. And you're not abandoning what keeps you safe anymore, because what keeps you safe is this new identity, because that's who you are.
Correct. And of course, referring to trusting yourself enough to grow at your own pace.
Yeah.
Rapid change is never wise because it's too hard to maintain. There's too many changes. There's too many balls you have to keep in the air to maintain that rapid change.
Yeah.
The small, slow process of change and implementing your goals one step at a time, slowly but consistently and persistently, will see you to your goal.
Yeah.
As my dad always said, how do you eat an elephant? One mouthful at a time.
I prefer not to, but
so do I. It's quite a big
But the metaphor is very, very relevant.
Isn't it?
It's you take those little steps. Absolutely, Noel. 100%. You take those little steps forward, and having that self-compassion as you're going forward, and living in the moment. Like you've talked about, living in the moment. You're recognizing, this is what's happening. This is the situation. This is what's happening right now.
Yep.
And that's all okay. Giving yourself the self-compassion if something doesn't work in this moment. It's not, I should have done this differently, because you can never should have done anything any differently. It's like, well, all right, I recognize what's going on. How am I going to do this differently next time? And you set up that process.
The next time. Yeah. And then you'll be a believer.
You will be a believer, which is our next song by Imagine Dragons. Well done, Noel. But this has been a wonderful morning here at Lake Narracan. The sun has come out. The clouds have come back over and given us a bit of shade, which it was getting quite warm there for a bit, but it has actually come, there's a little bit of cloud cover. It's almost the perfect morning here, on Lake Narracan.
It's lovely, isn't it? And the colours and the greens and
what
the
a start to 2026.
That's great living down here.
It's the second quarter of the century.
In the world. Yes.
Yeah.
The second quarter of the 21st century.
Yeah,
so I wonder what that has in store for us. It's been an interesting last 25 years. I wonder what the next 25 years
It's
holds.
exciting, isn't it? I mean, we've certainly got some exciting plans for 2026. It's going to be really, really wonderful.
Well, what have we seen quickly? We've seen driverless cars.
Well, yes.
We've seen more.
It's been insane. Have you been? I've been. No. A few friends of mine have got self-driving cars, and it's quite fun being in there. And they go, and sometimes they don't quite get it right.
Yeah, that's right.
And you got to correct it.
It's a bit nervy sometimes.
No, don't go there.
Yeah, it's a bit nervy.
But generally, they're pretty good. And it's like you just sit back and go, wow, this thing's, especially the parking. parking. You push the button and it just parks for you. So,
correct. And we've got 4K flat screen TVs.
yes,
We've had.
I've got an 8K. I've got an 8K camera, which I don't know how you watch that, but I've got. One of my drones has got an 8K camera, which is quite insane.
That's interesting.
The resolution is quite fabulous.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
We've seen handheld personal communication devices actually evolve into the information machine we carry with us daily.
With amazing cameras.
Amazing cameras, internet access,
Yeah.
global access, speak to anyone in the world at any time for free.
It's what an amazing world we live in.
Well, indeed. You know, that's just a few of the areas that we've seen change.
We've got access to AI now gives us access to all the knowledge in the world, and you know, we can, if we know how to use it correctly, not think for us, we still need to think, but actually have access. It's like having 20 assistants to help you do the things you want to do, which comes back to what is really, really important, is having a purpose. And the more we move forward, and this is where I think people feel a bit lost today, is lacking purpose. When you have purpose, all of a sudden, all this technology is really, really useful and really, really helpful to get to where you want to go.
Other than looking at pussycats playing with balls of string.
Yeah, and jet skis behind us. Well, there you go. They're producing for me. There you go. Okay.
Before we close off, I would just like to thank each and every one of you out there for supporting us so well through 2025. Yeah. And we welcome you on board for an exciting 2026, even though we have a jet ski pulling up behind us.
I think they're coming in to say hello. They are? Yeah.
They are?
It's a nice white one with, I think there's 3 people on that. That's pretty fabulous. But you're right, Noel, we interrupted that there with, but it is, have an amazing 2026. It is absolutely going to be fabulous. Give yourself, some goal. Get out there and volunteer. Find a community group that you connect with. Be part of that. It'll give you a wonderful sense of purpose, and have an amazing 2026.
We are going to have amazing 2026, and hopefully you'll be there for the ride.
Definitely.
Just like these guys.
They're going out there, cruising around on their jet ski. All right, this is us signing off. This is First Light, discovering our Eden of the East. We're excited for 2026 and looking forward to catching you in the next show.
Happy New Year.
First things first, I'ma say all the words inside my head. I'm fired up and tired of the way that things have been. Oh, ooh, the way that things have been. Oh, ooh. Second thing, don't you tell me what you think that I can be. I'm the one at the sail, I'm the master of my sea. Oh, ooh, the master of my sea. Oh, ooh. I was broken from a young age, taking my soak into the masses, writing my poems for the few that look at me, took to me, shook at me, feeling me, singing from heartache, from the pain, taking my message from the veins, speaking my lesson from the brain, seeing the beauty through the... Hey, you burn me up, believer, believer. Hey, you burn me down, you build me up, believer, believer. Bullets fly, oh, let them rain. My life, my love, my drive, it came from. Hey, you burn me up, believer, believer. Third things third, send a prayer to the ones up above. All the hate that you've heard has turned your spirit to a dove. Oh, ooh, your spirit up above. Oh, I was choking in the crowd, building my rain up in the cloud, falling like ashes to the ground, hoping my feelings, they would drown, but they never did, ever lived, ebbing and flowing, inhibited, limited, till it broke open and rained down, it rained down like... Hey, you burn me up, believer, believer. Hey, you burn me down, you build me up, believer, believer. Bullets fly, let them rain. My life, my love, my drive, it came from. Hey, you burn me up, names. You're the face of the future, the blood in my veins. Oh, ooh, the blood in my veins. Oh, ooh. But they never did, ever lived, ebbing and flowing, inhibited, limited, till it broke up when it rained down. It rained down like.
I want to stop. We can't.